When he rubs his burning eyes and sits up, completely dazed, his throat is totally raw. The space around him is a tiny, cramped thatched hut barely a few meters wide, almost like a public restroom stall, with a weak, flickering bonfire burning in the middle of the floor. Outside, the wind howls, and the darkness is so thick he cannot even see his hand in front of his face. He should be fast asleep in his college dorm room right now, but instead he is here, a prank, a kidnapping, or something far worse. Every terrifying theory rushes through his mind, but before he can make sense of it, a voice echoes directly inside his skull. Welcome, survivor, to the dark world. To survive, you must remember a few basic rules. Unknown dangers lurk in the night, and keeping your bonfire burning is your only protection against being attacked. Fortunately, the overall danger level drops significantly during the day, so use that precious sunlight to explore and gather vital resources. Your shelter is your lifeline in this brutal, dark world, and you must upgrade your shelter as fast as possible. No exceptions. The survival manual has multiple crucial features. Study it carefully and protect it well. Random natural disaster will strike every single month, so stay alert. And finally, good luck to those who fight to survive. The voice cuts off as suddenly as it began. No, it is definitely not an illusion. Bitter wind leaks through the gaps of his shelter. He shivers, drawing in a sharp breath of frozen air before pulling his jacket tight and scooting closer to the fire. Crouching down, he rubs his hands. The heat slowly thaws his frozen. And get this, it is mid-July, but the indoor temperature feels like a harsh winter. Back home, this would only happen in the absolute coldest northern regions, to be teleported instantly, with a voice speaking directly into his brain, is completely beyond modern science. There is no doubt about it. He has been dragged into some supernatural event, but since he is stuck here, he might as well adapt. Fortunately, as a modern student raised on web novels, he accepts this survival game reality way faster than normal people. Taking a deep, smoky breath, he stands up and searches his tiny hut for that manual the voice mentioned. A room this small cannot hide much. And tucked in the corner, he finds a small black handbook alongside a chipped, worn stone axe. The cover simply reads Survival Manual, and the exact moment he looks at it, strange information floods his mind. This magical book integrates all the key mechanics of this dark world. If the manual is ever damaged, the shelter takes corresponding damage, making this book the literal core of his entire base. And since the voice said his shelter is his only shield, if it falls, the freezing cold will kill him first. No monsters needed. His expression turns grim as he carefully flips the manual open. The pages feel just like animal hide, with the 6 rules written on the first page. The text lists the weather as thick fog, heavy winds, and an outdoor temperature of -7.1 degrees, with just over 2.5 hours remaining. The skin-like pages update in real time, just like a digital tablet. It is highly unsettling, but given his situation, he cannot afford to overthink it. He flips to the second page, showing a chat split into world, regional, and private messages. The global channel has over 8 billion users and is. He watches the numbers plummet by hundreds of thousands every second. His region is locked at exactly 10,000. 8 billion people used to live on Blue Star, meaning everyone has transmigrated. But how the elderly, sick, and disabled will survive in a place like this is something he honestly cannot bear to picture. He lived alone after his grandfather passed, so there are no relatives to worry about. Since he cannot reach them, he opens the world channel, instantly overwhelmed by scrolling messages that fly past too fast to read. He switches to regional instead. Help, I think I have been kidnapped. Can someone call the police? Buddy, I am a police officer from America, and I want to call the police too. What kind of insane technology is this manual that beams thoughts straight into my head? Did we transmigrate, or are we all test subjects in some secret experiment? Have you seen the world counter at 8 billion? Did everyone on Blue Star transmigrate? Dad, Mom, are you here? Stop shouting. 8 billion people split into 10,000 person regions. Do you really think you would land next to someone you know? Anyone there? Since we are in the same region, we cannot be far apart. Let us move in together. Move in. With all the danger out there, only a fool leaves their shelter. Can someone give me clothes? I sleep naked. I will freeze to death. Awesome in this cold. Who has spare clothes? You are on your own. Then a frantic voice cuts in, saying he hears wolves and asking if everyone's bonfires are still burning. He just opened the door to look outside, and the wind blew his flame out. Suddenly he is screaming, telling something not to come closer, then silence. Someone tries to call him back. Brother, are you okay? Do not scare people. Then the region counter clicks down from 10,000 to 9,999. The reality of this terrifying world just got way too real for everyone. And the chat falls silent for more than 10 seconds before someone finally posts. The bonfire must not go out tonight. As soon as there is light, we collect firewood first. Now everyone truly understands how dangerous this dark world is. He looks at his own crackling fire with a pounding heart, reading in silence for a bit longer. Then he flips to the third page, the trade channel, which is totally empty since no one has listed anything yet. The fourth page is upgrades showing the level 1 thatched hut shelter, which requires 100 units of wood and 20 units of stone. A note states this drafty hut is the lowest tier, and upgrading will unlock brand new functions. Every single page after that is blank, so the manual only has environment, chat, trade, and upgrade. And there are clearly more functions waiting to be unlocked. Those blank pages cannot be for a diary. He closes the book, flips back, and rereads the 6 precautions one more time. The danger level drops during the day, and there are less than 2 hours of night left. He must rest quickly and adjust his condition, because every precaution could be the line between life and death now. He sits cross-legged by the fire and forces himself into a light sleep, dozing and waking, never trusting the dark enough to sleep deeply. With 20-some minutes left, suddenly he jolts up, slaps his cheeks, and runs through the 9th set of National Physical Education broadcast gymnastics. He knows his body is not particularly strong, but he knows warming up before strenuous exercise prevents injury, and waking up early inside the shelter wastes none of his precious daylight. Some quick jumping jacks finally ease his cold stiffness. A steady warmth, less than 10 minutes of night remain. He picks up the worn stone axe, testing its weight with a light swing. The manual lists it as a rankless quartzite axe, meant only for chopping. It chops wood, though it can work as a weapon in emergencies. According to the handbook, item ranks go from black iron to gold, then platinum, diamond, and legendary. 8 tiers total, but his is worse. It is below black iron. Speechless, he wonders how many swings he needs to fell a single tree. Just like that, the night finally runs out. Daylight descends, his panel updates, sunny and 5.5 degrees outside. Inside is 11.3, with 8 hours of precious daylight remaining. This jump to positive temperatures is welcome, and the bonfire makes a difference. But 8 hours is barely enough time to plan resource runs and explore and manage a return trip. The warning to cherish daytime makes sense now. Across this harsh, dark world, every survivor is suddenly rushing out. 8 hours is painfully short, and nobody knows if the cycle changes later. Instead of rushing out, he cautiously decides to check the chat first. He spends a few minutes scanning the global messages to see if anyone hit danger. One player brags about surviving in an outhouse, urging everyone to move out. Another claims to be a survival veteran, calling this his home turf. Someone else marvels at the beautiful jungle, calling the place a paradise. With no immediate dangers reported, he grabs his stone axe to leave. Pushing aside the curtain, he steps out as dew clings to the grass. Under the faint light, insects and birds chirp softly in the trees. This peaceful scenery only makes him grip his worn axe much tighter. Whatever mysterious force dragged everyone from Blue Star did not do it kindly. Nobody abducts an entire planet's population just to give them a vacation. The guide warns that daytime only means reduced danger, not absolute safety. Overnight, the regional counter dropped from 10,000 to 9,982. Over a dozen people died in just one night. He cautiously steps out. Other survivors are already in the forest, and the chat starts buzzing. But right after their first swing, the chat explodes with complaints. Even the gaming fan admits a flimsy 10-centimeter sapling is like stone. He asks how anyone can gather 100 units of wood for upgrades. A veteran manual laborer laughs, stating that even for him, it is brutal. It takes him 5 whole minutes to fell a tree for 1 unit. And since everyone needs rest, this day is going to be incredibly tough. When a beggar asks for half a unit, others tell him to go chop his own. Another person offers private photos for food, only to get called a beggar. Yet they quickly slip into private messages after sending a highly suggestive image. Get to work, the messages warn, because no fire means certain death. He closes the screen. 30 meters from his shelter, he finds a birch forest. Choosing a thin sapling, he swings, feeling a heavy recoil run up the handle. The shallow notch tells him everything. He adjusts his posture and aims again. Chopping with all his strength, the sapling falls 8 minutes later for 1 unit. 1 unit of wood. He doesn't rush to pick it up, rubbing his arm while running the math. A strong adult gathering 1 unit every 5 minutes only manages 96 in 8 hours. That is without breaks or meals. Realistically, 60 units a day would be an excellent harvest. Plus, with the nightly bonfire consumption, gathering 100 units takes at least 2 full days. Part-time work has kept him fitter than the average. Fragile college student, but he is no laborer. Without better tools, he is looking at 30 to 40 units a day at most. He doesn't rush to join the chopping army. Gamers know that exploring and running quests easily beat blind grinding on a fresh map, and although this isn't a game, mapping out the area and clearing nearby dangers makes future tree chopping safer. Carrying his worn axe, he heads east toward the rising sun, climbing through bushes and grass, keeping watch for danger, all of which burns through stamina faster than flat ground. About 15 minutes later, 300 meters from the shelter, a pitch-black forest rears up directly ahead, with occasional howls echoing out that make the hair on his neck stand up. The transition is only meters wide, yet it feels like another world entirely, completely unnatural. Facing it, he wisely stops. The clear, relatively safe zone still has more to give, so there is no need to risk himself just yet. Looking sideways, the boundary curves around his shelter in a perfect circle of darkness, and for now his explorable area is limited to a 300-meter radius. Whether it expands later, he doesn't know yet. Hungry and thirsty after a sleepless night, he pivots to search for wild fruit. As he turns, sunlight catches a glint of metal among the weeds along the dark border. Pushing them aside, he spots a wooden treasure chest hidden in the shadows, its metal clasp catching the light. His handbook tags it as a black iron chest. 60% chance for unranked items, 30% black iron and 10% bronze. The manual never mentioned chests, making this brand new information. Honestly, those black iron drop rates are pretty stingy, and his luck has always been terrible. He is clearly a bit unlucky, which is no secret to him, but this box is more enticing than gold to a hungry man. He drags it out and opens it up, and check this out. 3 items instantly materialize. A can of fermented herring, unranked, described as an incomparable delicacy for certain creatures. Then, some farmer spring water, unranked, ordinary bottled water that isn't sweet but perfectly quenches thirst. Finally, a small water bucket blueprint, black iron rank, which grants the crafting recipe for a small water bucket. It takes 3 units of wood to build a bucket with a 10-liter capacity. That will hold plenty. He recalls streamers throwing up from eating that herring, making it trade goods, not food. He would throw up way more than he could keep down. The water is what he urgently needs. He unscrews the cap to take a sip, and even though the description warns that the plain water is totally unsweetened, his parched mouth finds it sweeter than any drink he has ever had. Absolutely refreshing. The blueprint comes last and hits the hardest. Crafting in this dark world absolutely requires blueprints. Handcrafting is too unreliable. A bucket is highly universal. With 8 billion transmigrants, the market is absolutely massive. This is a complete goldmine, worth way more than some bronze item. He will never trade it. He uses it immediately, and the system confirms he has. He just mastered crafting small water buckets. If a black iron chest gives this much, what would bronze, silver, or gold drop? He stops daydreaming and focuses. His territory is 300 meters across, spanning 280,000 square meters, and a chest the size of a basketball in that massive space is like a needle in a haystack. Finding one is already pure luck. Still, he searches his entire domain for an hour, finding only an open-air stone quarry to the west. No other chests, no fruit, just empty land. The only plus is there are no beasts, with chests ruled out for now. He sticks to the plan, sweating in the birch forest to harvest 3 units of wood before crafting his first bucket. 10 minutes per bucket. He had assumed crafting would be instant. Here is the math. Chopping 1 unit takes 10 minutes, with rest included, and 1 bucket costs 3 wood units plus 10 minutes of work. If buckets sell for 4 units of wood, anything above that is pure profit. Since crafting takes time, supply will definitely lag behind demand, so they will not be cheap. He decides to list them when everyone goes inside tonight. 4 The next several hours, he gathers wood, crafts buckets, and saves fuel for the night bonfire. The work is grueling. 6 hours later, the sky grows dark, less than 30 minutes of light remains. He has stockpiled 7 buckets and 12 loose units of wood. His movements have grown stiff and slow, and he is about to walk back as another tree crashes. And look, right there is a chest emitting a dark green metallic shine. Another chest. He rubs his eyes, half believing. His exhaustion is playing tricks, but it is real, sweeping away his fatigue in an instant. He sprints over. The handbook reveals it is bronze grade. 20% unranked, 40% black iron, 30% bronze, and 10% silver. The branch fragment wedged in its side shows it fell from the birch tree he just chopped. It was wedged in the leaves, the dark green completely blending in. Without the direct sunlight, he would never have found it, even if he searched the entire territory 10 times. He makes a mental note: do not just stare at the ground, look up sometimes. He pops it open, and 4 items appear, one more than the black iron chest gave him. A bronze chest definitely has better loot. The first item is long, thick, black, and hard, a baguette, no rank, rock hard, consume with caution if you have bad teeth. It doubles as a weapon. He has not eaten in a day, and tears well up at the sight of food. He usually prefers rice, but he is not picky today. The second item is a disposable plastic lighter, no rank, with 2/3 of its fuel left, showing the gilded characters heaven and earth on the casing. An unusual lighter, useless once empty. He holds it gently, unwilling to put it down. Even back on Earth, a fire source is absolutely critical, especially in this harsh place. He cannot just rub sticks together, and his bonfire died at dawn. Without a flame at night, the cold darkness would end him. This item has no rank, name only. To him, it is far more precious than any black iron tool. While these two are great, he feels conflicted. This is a bronze chest, and he expected a real bronze grade item. The third item finally delivers, a bronze axe, sturdier and sharper than stone, with a description jokingly asking whether he dropped this bronze axe, a silver one, or maybe even a golden axe. He swings it twice, hearing the air whistle. His chopping speed should easily more than double. With a proper tool like this, he is actually looking forward to working. He could charge into the trees and fell 100, but the sun is setting. He shifts. He checks the fourth item. It makes the bronze axe slip right out of his grip. The axe thumps to the floor. He stares at a palm-sized, slender-necked glass bottle. It holds a pale purple liquid, shimmering eerily in the very last of the sunset. The system calls it the Fountain of Mutation, a sustainable, silver-ranked item. Once placed down, it produces 100 milliliters of mutated spring water daily. Drinking it causes completely unknown mutations in any living creature. The system description adds a mocking pitch about joining the path of evolution. It jokes about growing extra limbs. Finding a silver item in a bronze chest is rare. The odds were just 10%. Talk about an absolute jackpot of a first pull. A bronze reward was enough to make him happy, but this silver is next level. Even better, it produces resources indefinitely, making it far more valuable than any weapon. That mutation warning makes him swear he will never drink it himself. The terrifying thought of growing extra arms sends a cold shiver down his spine. Still, it can be traded for valuable resources, since someone out there will want it. It works on any living creature, meaning plants and animals are fair game too. What actually happens is anyone's guess. A sudden, freezing gust of wind hits him. He tightens his coat. The interface shows only 21 minutes of daylight left. He drags his heavy loot back to shelter, racing hard against the oncoming dark. He sparks the bonfire with his lighter and slowly thaws out his freezing body. Outside, the night swallows everything, and distant howls echo through the frozen trees. The wilderness is deadly. He makes a mental note to always return early now. Basking in the fire's warmth, he finally breathes. Meanwhile, the chat channel is chaotic. People are begging. One user posts a selfie pleading for fire to stay warm. Others mock the post, but the underlying panic in the region is growing fast. The temperature is plummeting. Panicked players cry out, asking what they should do. The only real answer is upgrading shelters and preparing better cold weather gear. Rubbing sticks together for warmth is a joke that only works on television shows. Some players start selling flint, demanding 10 units of wood for a single piece. Only 3 pairs are left. Other survivors immediately scream at the seller for profiteering. They demand free items, but the seller quickly shuts down the moral hypocrites. Buy it now or let the dark consume you. The desperation is getting intense. The cold reality is sinking in. The regional survivor count drops by the hour. He quietly feels lucky to have his lighter. Without it, he would be desperate too. He would be paying an absolute fortune just to keep a tiny fire alive. Now he looks back at the Fountain of Mutation in his hands. There is no way he is leaving this silver-ranked item outside for monsters to drink. He takes his bronze axe and digs a 1 square meter hollow in the floor. It is 30 centimeters deep. Then he uncorks the mysterious slender glass bottle. He pours the shimmering liquid inside. The purple immediately seeps into the dirt. A strange, glowing well of purple water bubbles right back up to the surface. The system confirms he now has 100 milliliters of mutated spring water. He is preparing to check bucket prices when a loud global broadcast cuts in. The eerie voice addresses the survivors, asking if they have worked hard enough. It promises that all resources obtained will now undergo a special conversion. Points convert into reward lottery wheels based on value. Each person gets 1 wheel and the points are strictly used for tier calculations. Tier 1 requires more than 50 points, granting a black iron lottery wheel. Tier 2 requires more than 100 points, granting a bronze wheel. Tier 3 requires more than 200, granting a silver wheel. Tier 4 requires more than 500, granting a gold wheel. His breakdown is read out next. 30 free units of basic resources at 33 points. 4 no-grade items at 40 points, 1 black iron item at 20 points, 1 bronze item at 50 points, total 293 points, 1 silver lottery wheel, a silver light flashes and a palm-sized, old silver-white compass-like item drops. Slowly into his hand, he feels the rough texture against his palm and surprise. Gives way to joy. The manual's last note about luck favoring strivers is not an empty promise after all, and the system has put a tangible reward into a striver's hand on day 1. He runs the math. He cleared Tier 3 by 93 points. But the Tier 4 line is 500. By the conversion ratio, even 3 silvers leave him 50 short. He found a bronze chest and a black iron chest in a single day and rolled a silver inside, which is already among the luckiest paths possible. Many people probably did not even see a black iron chest. Even so, he is still far from Tier 4. Will anyone hit it? He shakes the daydream off. He is already lucky, and he is not so close to the next line that the loss aches. The people 1 or 2 points short are the ones who will not sleep tonight. The chat confirms it as the rewards drop. Someone complains, why did nobody warn about quests? I chopped a few trees and got 6 points and 0 rewards. I want compensation. You lazy dog, blaming gravity for your inability to crap. The weak die first. My mentality is shattered. 99 points, 1 point off second tier. Pure pain, brother. I have 51, exactly 1 over. Want to borrow it? You cannot lend points and you are rubbing salt in the wound. Despicable. Good thing I got 53. Big brother, how did you hit 99? I axed until it smoked and got 60. Oh, I just opened a black iron chest and the items added points. Chests, there are chests. Here I missed a fortune chopping all day. The clown is me. From the chatter he scrapes out useful information. The basic resource conversion rate to reward points is not the same for everyone. Some physically strong males got nothing for a unit of wood, while some weaker females got 2 points or more for the same unit, which means anyone working hard enough to gather resources is at least guaranteed Tier 1. Tier 2 is rare. Tier 3 is much rarer. He has not seen anyone in his brief scan admit to it, let alone Tier 4, though it is entirely possible some are playing dumb to develop quietly. The settlement confirms a pretty obvious point about this world. The system tracks per day per survivor and rewards effort rather than only outcome, so even the meekest grinder eats. The catch is that tier skipping requires items, and items require luck, and luck is finite. The people in chat who hit 99 and missed by 1 point will lose sleep tonight. Brutal, right? He is not one of them. The compass tags itself. Lottery compass silver rank, randomly drawing a single silver rank item, single use. Formerly the livelihood of a third-rate geomancer, whose livelihood later became a broken bowl. The joke is presumably that he wound up a beggar, truly third rate. A silver wheel hands him a silver item directly, which means a gold wheel. Pulling silver is incredibly tough. A basic bronze chest has only a 10% drop rate. Opening 10 chests usually yields just 1. This draw took some serious luck. He definitely used up an entire year of good fortune. Better to use it now. No point in waiting. He triggers the device, spinning the pointer across the wheel. Mysterious symbols flash by as the dial slows down under his anxious gaze. It stops at 45 degrees. A silver flash reveals a rough animal hide scroll. Marked with a purple eye, it is a silver-rank scroll for beast taming. The technique boosts his spiritual threshold and unlocks a mind-dominant skill. He can dominate any creature with weaker spiritual energy than himself. The maximum number of controlled beasts scales directly with his mental pool. The text warns that purple eyes are not just for edgy teenagers. At 21, his cheeks burn at the dramatic description, but he shakes it off. He is used to weird descriptions now and quickly recovers his focus. Beast taming is a classic game class. This dark world clearly has real magic. This goes way beyond genetic modification. Skill scrolls are actual supernatural tools. Magic means the unknown, which brings a sudden, heavy sense of danger. With a slight head start in this place, he has to work harder. Absolute power is the only way to survive these terrifying unseen threats. Perhaps magic can even bring back the deceased in this bizarre world. He clutches the scroll, thinking of his grandfather, and triggers the spell. It burns instantly, driving a sharp violet light into his left eye. Agony hits like 1,000 hot needles, bringing him crashing to his knees. He screams in torment, clawing at his face until the burning finally fades. A system notification confirms he has successfully mastered the silver-rank eye. Dripping in cold sweat, his heart pounds heavily with pure, lingering terror. The description never warned him about the pain. Safety is now his priority. If a monster had found him during that agony, he would be dead. Safe inside, his mind clears up, revealing a strange new sensory instinct. He feels an invisible connection to his left eye, like a physical trigger. His left pupil has turned an eerie violet, though he cannot see it. The skill only works on targets with lower spiritual energy than him. Messing with brain power is risky business. Any failure could prove fatal. He needs a weak target to practice, but this shelter is currently empty. Walking out into the dark to hunt for monsters would be suicide. He drops the idea and heads toward the chest, storing his bread. But as he lifts the lid to grab dinner, his eyes widen. Massive black ants, each the size of a soybean, cover the bread. Sharp mandibles tear through his baguette as more join the feeding frenzy. These dark world pests are anything but normal. Their jaws slice rock-hard crust easily. They kick up fine white crumbs. A tenth of his food is already gone. Thieves, get off my dinner. He has not eaten a single bite, and watching his rations disappear sparks anger. He cannot just punch them. Those scythe-like mandibles would shred his skin. Human flesh is softer than hard bread. One bite means deep flesh wounds. He desperately scans the room for any kind of weapon or tool. Reach as his bread keeps disappearing. His newly acquired skill suddenly flashes in his mind. How could he forget? He can tame any creature, no matter what it is. The eye of taming should work. Ants have tiny brains and weak mental strength. There is no way his own mind is weaker than theirs, so they are perfect for a test. The ants gnawing on his baguette suddenly go from disgusting to adorable. There are at least dozens of them swarming the bread. He picks the happiest-looking one and triggers the eye of taming for the first time. A faint, barely visible purple light flickers in his left eye. The ant freezes mid-bite as a mental connection suddenly clicks open between them. He can easily sense its thoughts and command it to perform simple movements. It obeys precisely. Controlling an unintelligent creature like this carries absolutely no mental burden. He sweeps his gaze across the others one by one, freezing them instantly as if someone pressed a pause button. Dozens of them freeze in a row until not a single active ant remains. Then he feels a subtle pressure in his brain, a protective ceiling on his taming limit. Even with creatures as weak as these, there is still a clear limit. The cap must scale with his spiritual power. To control larger, stronger creatures, his spiritual power has to rise. He must watch the trade channel for items that can boost it. After thinking it over for a bit, he orders all 63 ants off the baguette and into a line on the floor. The handbook tags them as black scythe ants, no rank, completely pitch black, with scythe-shaped mandibles, possessing extremely powerful biting force. They have no abilities whatsoever. These black scythe ants are just too weak. They are strong for insects, but still just ants. If they were not on his food, he could have easily stepped on them, as he wonders what to do. With them, his gaze lands on the Fountain of Mutation, sitting in the center of the room. Sparking a wild idea, this spring water mutates creatures unpredictably. yielding random results. It is cheap, disposable, and plentiful. That describes these ants perfectly. With enough of them, surely some will mutate beneficially and the rest are no loss. The thought of creating strong monsters from this bunch makes him incredibly excited. Without any further hesitation, he orders them all to take a drink. They march down the wall like a disciplined army, approaching the fountain to drink without hesitation. Their tiny bodies twist and deform, some swelling up and popping into mush. Half a minute later, only 41 remain alive. 21 died, their tiny bodies scattered. Around the fountain, his stomach twists at the sight. This mutated spring water cannot be used lightly. The death rate is just too high, but his attention instantly snaps to the survivors. Most are now grotesquely deformed. Some have bloated bellies they cannot even drag along. The system panel marks them as completely useless. 8 of them, however, truly stand out. They are dozens of times larger than before, pitch black, with 10-centimeter scythe mandibles. Now they are black scythe hunting ants of the black iron rank. They possess terrifying jaw strength, capable of immense destruction. Their ability is tenfold biting force. These 8 are the lucky, successful mutations. Not only did they evolve, they jumped a rank. Ant bite force was already terrifying. Before they mutated, these ants chewed through hard bread, and now, with tenfold biting power, Riley half believes they could chew solid rock if a person got caught between those mandibles. He would rather not picture it. These hunting ants pose lethal threats to almost any creature, and in massive numbers, even giant beasts would struggle. But there are only 8. His dream of an ant army must wait. He still has no idea where these black scythe ants came from. He needs to find their nest and capture their queen. Only then will an army be possible. These hunting ants would gladly search for a nest right now, but it is night. Tunneling outside risks attracting deadly monsters. Day shift only then. The 8 hunting ants grow restless. Riley follows their gaze toward the corpses and the deformed failures on the floor. They want to eat them. He was already wondering how to clean up the mess, so he lets them loose. They swarm and eagerly devour everything, corpses and living deformed kin alike, stuffing themselves until their bellies are completely round. As they feast, the pressure in his head eases significantly. These hunting ants are no longer the same species as ordinary black scythe ants, which is why they eat their living kin without hesitation. From now on, any failed mutations can be easily cleaned up and fed to them. Riley recovers a massive chunk of mental energy and nods to himself. Completely satisfied, he wonders if these hunting ants can mutate even further. If black iron is already this powerful, silver would be a massive leap. He stares at them, and the 8 creatures tremble visibly, stepping back instinctively, even though they cannot resist his commands. Are you seriously taking a step back? Riley thinks. The seed of curiosity is planted, and he cannot stop now, but before he can push any further, a sudden broadcast cuts in, a brand new world announcement. To help guide survivors in the right direction, a limited-time mission is now active. The quest requires everyone to upgrade their shelters to Level 2. Anyone ranking in the global top 10% for speed will get a heavy resource pack, choosing between warmth, food, or survival tools. Even better, the regional top 100 will receive a special skill selection package scaled by rank. And believe me, all chat channels go absolutely feral. Everyone wants those free resources and top-tier skills right now. Talk about a gold rush. People are begging for warmth, food, and tools, desperately wishing they could grab all 3. Some mock the dreamers, while others obsess over what skills might be up for grabs. It feels like a video game, making no logical sense, but securing these rewards is huge. Immediately, players beg to trade resources, desperate to secure an early lead. Sellers hawk basic wooden spears for 15 wood or 5 stones apiece, calling them the ultimate defense against monsters knocking on the door. Meanwhile, a desperate streamer offers private video calls and quick comfort just for some spare wood and stone. On the darker side of things, high-interest lenders are offering 50 wood and 20 stone at 10% daily interest, looking for desperate takers. It is total chaos out there as everyone scrambles for survival, pulling out every trick to level up fast. Riley cannot afford to study his ants anymore today. The insects can wait, but missing this time-limited event means losing those sweet rewards forever. Even with his decent stash, Riley wants in. He pulls up the trade manual, diving straight into the market. This quest offers world-class and regional rewards, and hitting that top 10% should be quite easy for him. Missing it would mean he is totally incompetent. especially with his abundant resources and items. If he misses the top 10%, he might as well find a block of tofu and smash his face. Top 100 means top 1% of 10,000. He is confident he will make it, but simply passing is not enough. The higher his regional standing, the better the reward, and he wants first place, or at least top 3 or top 5. He just hopes no absolute monsters share his region, opening up the trade channel. Hundreds of items fly by, each displaying the owner, the exchange terms, and a comment section. A wool sweater listed by Jang DePio costs 50 wood or 10 stone. One buyer with only 15 wood begs for a discount, only to get called completely broke. Suggests shopping at $9.99, but Jang DePio tells him to buy from the dark world. To see if any courier delivers, a black iron machete costs 60 wood plus 5 stone. The listings vary wildly, and most are heavily price gouged on day one with everyone is broke. Sellers fight hagglers in comments because the goods take actual hard labor. He gets it, but with these absurd rates, nothing will sell. The market will stabilize soon anyway. This trade channel is just too messy and gives him a headache, but luckily a filter exists. He filters for containers and pages of results appear, sorted only by listing order, no price sort. A wooden bowl with no rank 300 milliliters costs 1 wood. A tiny wine glass 30 milliliters 1 wood. An empty plastic bottle 500 milliliters is 2 wood. A basic wooden bucket 2 liters goes for 5 wood or 1 stone. Having a container is essential because water sources are completely useless without some way to carry the liquid. The key factor is capacity, so he compares the volume to the price. After scanning 5 pages, almost nothing exceeds 1 liter, making even empty water bottles look relatively spacious here. Calculating the value, he figures his own buckets are worth around 15 wood based on volume, but on day one, nobody can afford 15. He needs quick sales for upgrade points, so he lists them at a competitive 12 wood or 2 stone per bucket. Normally, stone mining tools are incredibly scarce, making stone worth much more, and so he sets up his clever pricing trap. Watch this, he lists all 7 buckets. He can easily craft more, so no need to hoard. He posts on the World Channel. Small wooden buckets with 10-liter capacity, 12 wood on the trade channel, limited stock. First come, first served. The responses flood in instantly. A 4-liter basin for 8 wood is an absolute joke compared to this. Another buyer has 2 stone and cannot upgrade today anyway, so they will grab cheap goods. They call boss Zhang Haiyan incredibly generous, shouting, "Not fight me, I am buying them all to flip for profit." Another calls him a beast for scalping. After transmigrating, begging everyone to hurry so middlemen do not eat the profit. He is not surprised that someone knows his name, since the chat displays their real-life avatar. Real name, the World Channel only allows 3 messages a day, so he refuses to waste another. Within 10 seconds, all 7 buckets are sold, and a flood of private orders streams in. Among them, a user named Haiyan asks to buy 5 buckets. After the temporary quest ends, he has no idea why she needs so many, but business is business, so he agrees. The tally is 7 buckets sold for 60 wood. And 4 stone, plus his 12 wood, he is still 28 wood and 16 stone short of that major upgrade. Upgrade wood is easy, but stone remains a real problem. Buckets are incredibly profitable, turning 3 wood into 4 times its value, but 10 minutes of crafting time per bucket means he cannot simply brute force the difference. Glancing at with this popularity, he wants to craft 100 more right now, but every second matters in this regional race. Slow crafting won't win him first place. Sacrifices have to be made, so he drops that idea and starts listing items to sell. Canned herring listed for 10 wood. After all, it is a specialty food. Normal food is common, but Oreo-flavored herring is rare, and rich tastes are weird. Disposable. Lighter keep chewed baguette sell, listed for 3 wood. He can buy a fresh one later. Axe keep. Surprisingly, the canned herring and the chewed baguette both sell within a single minute. Even so, he's still 15 wood and 16 stone short. Sell the hunting ants. Black iron ring beast should be worth quite a lot, but he only has 8, with too many open questions left to study, so unless absolutely necessary, it is a no. Wood he can chase, but stone he cannot. Like riding a bicycle to a bar, save where you can, spend where you must. He turns to the most valuable thing he owns, the mutated spring water reserve is 93.8 milliliters. Ant trials took just 6.2 milliliters because ants drink almost nothing. He cuts 12 small wooden cups with Grooves to hold liquid using his bronze axe. He takes out 60 milliliters of spring water and divides it into 12 5-milliliter portions, listing them at 13 wood each or 2 stone. And posts a second World Channel ad for Silver-Rank items at discounted prices. Come and grab them quickly. The reactions hover between pure disbelief that he has a Silver-Rank item, lamenting the massive gap, and buying them up fast. Since spring water is niche and only specific needs match it, now watch this clever trap. His pricing leans buyers towards stone. Sale successful, 2 stone, sale successful. 2 stone in just 2 minutes, 8 portions are gone for 16 stone, exactly enough. For the shelter upgrade, the pace then slows on the spring water because curious onlookers are sated and his World Channel ad gets buried. He's only 15 wood. From upgrading and about to cap exchanges at wood when Xingha DMs. Again, asking if he can lower the price to 40 wood for the 4 remaining portions. The same rich woman who pre-ordered 5 buckets is now buying out 4 silver rank portions, which strongly suggests she has already upgraded and has wood too. Spare, they are not in the same region, and her offer matches his mental floor. He does not haggle and takes it. Sale successful, 40 wood. The moment the trade clears, he opens the manual and hits upgrade. Survivor meets conditions. Consume 100 wood and 20 stone. Yes, upgrading weight, the shelter is successfully upgraded to level 2 wooden house. Then the broadcast fires. Top 10% globally for upgrade speed. Resource gift package, choose between warmth, food, or tool, and the second announcement is sharper. Congratulations, you are the first survivor in this region to upgrade your shelter. Reward skill. Selection gift package, gold rank. He does not relax until the broadcast confirms. First regionally, the cheap sale losses have been earned back with interest, and gold rank for first place is unexpectedly generous. The world rank package can wait. He opens the skill selection card first, a palm-sized package. Inside is a card entirely golden with a question mark printed on its face. Skill selection card, gold rank. After use, randomly draws 3 gold rank skills from which one can be chosen, so selection means a forced random 3. Talk about a total scam, but he has nowhere to complain. A gold. He shakes off his doubt. A 3-option choice is still incredibly strong. The card rises, spins wildly, and splits into 3 shimmering golden options. Etched with various unique and mysterious patterns, the system immediately demands his final choice. First is Water Affinity, a gold tier talent. It boosts his element stats by 100%. Next is Berserk, another golden skill. It grants massive stat boosts before exhausting him. Finally, Species Contract, a golden pact. This skill completely guarantees superior control over a beast. He reads each line with absolute focus. Water Affinity is instantly ruled out. He simply has no water-based skills. Just a flask of plain spring water, definitely skip. Berserk is a massive clutch, a true lifesaver. Yet the exact duration of that incredibly dangerous weakened state remains entirely hidden from him. A single day of extreme weakness in this brutal world is a definite death sentence. Too dangerous, but Species Contract perfectly aligns with his items. The wording is vague, but the side effects look completely minimal. His mutated spring water paired with the taming eye strongly push him down this path. The beast tamer path, he has a hunch. Everyone in this abyss receives random drops and abilities, just like games. But there are no preset classes in this world, making your growth entirely your own choice. It is a truly lawless playground, filled with infinite possibilities for everyone. With scarce resources, trying to master every single path is an absolute sin. These skills target 3 roles: mage, warrior, or tamer. His current assets scream beast tamer, but he knows his early lead is pure luck. Everyone is starting from scratch. Competition is temporarily non-existent. If he fails to lock in a dedicated path right now, he will quickly get surpassed. He selects Species Contract. The tamer path is chosen. The cards vanish. The system immediately demands his target. He only has one tamed creature, the black scythe hunting ant. He inputs his choice. Contract successfully established with the ant tribe. This contracted species can never be changed. It is fully locked. It can't be changed. Talk about a total trap. The description omitted that. He dreamed of becoming a majestic dragon knight. Why is he stuck with ants? Feeling entirely crushed, he sighs and helplessly accepts his fate. Reality is reality. Ants are all he has right now anyway. They are cheap, easy to get, and love that mutated water. Who knows, maybe they'll mutate into massive, flying, fire-breathing nightmares. If a dragon knight is out, an ant knight will have to do. He opens the gold tier skill. It promises massive control over ants. Still incredibly vague, but a gold skill has to be powerful. Let's test it. He looks at a nearby hunting ant. The detailed readout completely explodes. Black Scythe hunting ant, black iron rank, devastating mandible power. Silver rank potential, tenfold combat bite force. Its mutation rate is 11%. Feeding it meat will boost that. It is highly likely to evolve into a combat type, slim chance of mutating into other forms. This skill is not about raw combat power, but a cultivation. Map showing potential, growth rates, and the specific resources that boost them. Left. Without this tool, raising ants is pure guesswork, but now he cultivates. Efficiently and with clear purpose, worth it, he opens the gift and weighs the 3 options against current market prices. Then he chooses. Warmth. The warnings mentioned monthly disasters. Winter is coming, given the worsening weather. The first one is likely extreme cold, meaning warm goods will skyrocket in value. Food and water can easily be traded later. Inside is a cotton suit and a thick quilt, far exceeding his expectations. He puts the suit on right away and feels his freezing hands and feet begin to thaw. Finally, warmth. He might sleep better. Tonight, he inspects the upgraded shelter, a level 2 wooden house. The next upgrade requires 500 wood, 100 stone, plus all basic facilities. The space is now 20 square meters, 4 times larger, and the walls feel sturdy enough to withstand heavy winter winds, drastically boosting his sense of security. New facilities unlocked. A cabinet at 30 wood. Store food and delay spoilage. A solid wooden bed costs 50 wood and improves rest quality. A dual-use stove costing 30 stone banishes the darkness from his shelter and provides a cooking fire. All 3 items are essential. Food is incredibly precious, making this storage cabinet an absolute lifesaver. Last night he slept on the cold ground and got absolutely zero rest. This bed changes everything. The stove will push back the pitch black and let him cook warm meals in this freezing weather. It is pure comfort. The basic building costs are quite reasonable, but the requirements for the next shelter level are pretty brutal. Other survivors without chests might struggle to upgrade for 10 or 15 days. Even for him, it is incredibly tough, but luckily he has a solid crafting skill to rely on. He keeps making buckets from leftover wood while checking the global chat. Everyone is currently envying the 5th place regional survivor who landed a silver skill. Major respect to that powerhouse. He wants those skills too. Is it finally time to go all in for the top 100? No hesitating, just commit and push through. The chat is full of interesting characters currently running on pure adrenaline and bravado as the temporary quest winds down. Some are desperately selling off their last valuables just to get a few resources. Others are panic crafting cheap items to sell at razor-thin margins just to survive. A few are even trash-talking everyone else who has not qualified yet. Talk about a desperate mask for sheer panic. The skill selection rewards are clearly weighing heavily on everyone. A silver reward at 5th place means those above him likely rolled gold or even higher. He buys a simple loaf of rye bread for 5 wood and eats while working. His hands stay busy shaping wooden buckets, but his mind is already planning the next move. Food first, since his territory is completely barren. He relies entirely on trades, but the incoming freeze could completely strangle the supply line. A stable food supply is absolutely vital. Next is his growth path. He needs items that boost spiritual power to control more species of ants. Based on earlier trials, different species will likely mutate down entirely unique paths. Paths, battle for some, construction for others, and transport for the rest. Clearly multiple species are required, since ants near his shelter are limited, posting a buying task on the trading market is the plan. He's also hunting for spiritual power skills. An hour later, 6 more buckets sit right beside him. The temporary mission wins down and he scans the broader picture. Each region holds 10,000 people, 8 billion. Souls means over 800,000 regions. The regional top 100 slots are all filled, while the global top 10% still has a few open spots. Among those who have not upgraded yet, very few will succeed today, less than a tenth of the world's transmigrants managed that level 2 upgrade on day 1. Truly lucky people are a clear minority. And his expression grows heavy. He keeps crafting, but the grim reality haunts him. 8. Billion souls dropped into 10,000 person cells with nothing but thatched walls and fire. They were told to survive. Already on this very first night, the death toll climbs into the hundreds of thousands. He holds 3 lucky chests that nobody else ever opened. And he simply cannot afford to get comfortable now. Buckets, food supplies, spiritual power, crop variety, cold preparation, and faster cultivation. Every single task is critical, and a single night is not nearly enough to handle them all. Suddenly, inbox blinks. It's Chung-ho again, asking if he has any more buckets ready for trade. Her steady buying habits finally catch his full attention. Her profile icon shows young woman with an oval face and a gentle, soft smile. Dark world profiles cannot be filtered or beautified, meaning that face is entirely real. Even he, despite being completely face blind, has to admit she is breathtakingly beautiful, not that he has any unsavory thoughts. Honestly, he is a savage businessman. He quietly decides to mark up. With that stunning appearance and refined vibe, she is likely a wealthy, high-status person with cash to burn. If she could read his shameless mind right now, she would be utterly speechless. He confirms he has buckets and asks for her target number 5. She replies, asking if he still has mutated spring water available. He has 33.8 milliliters left from his starting supply, plus his spring produces another 100 milliliters daily that his aunts barely even touch. He tells her he can let go of 20 milliliters right now, but he wants high-grade resources in exchange. Since she is loaded, she must have some. Meanwhile, elsewhere in this dark world, a massive tree thick enough for 10 people to encircle holds a sturdy little wooden house on its trunk. Any normal survivor would surely gawk at this incredible setup. Chung-ho is the owner, and she frowns at his incoming message. How did this guy figure it out? True, she did buy way too many tools from him during the previous timed quest. Back then, only desperate players or those with massive stockpiles of resources could afford to burn precious wood on basic tools. She obviously belongs in that wealthy second class. Now, she is open to his trading proposal. Since those timed events are over, rare goods are reclaiming their true worth. She sends a direct trade preview for him to look over, starting with multi-year winter wheat seeds. They are black iron rank, yielding 100 times more than standard crops, with enhanced frost resistance. Next is a bronze-grade ripening potion designed to accelerate crop growth, especially for low-tier species. Finally, she offers a 2-color goji berry of silver rank that boosts physical stamina and warding off disease. His eyes widen with pure greed. These seeds and potions completely solve his survival food crisis. Planting this mutated crop ensures he will never go hungry in this harsh world. The rare goji berries are an even bigger treasure in a wilderness without that resistance boost is invaluable. Keeping his reply flat, he shrugs. Not bad. How do you want to trade? Chungan knows exactly how heavy these items are at this stage of the world and smiles at his poker face. She offers 100 multi-year winter wheat seeds, 3 bottles of ripening potion, and 1 2-color goji berry in exchange for 20 milliliters of mutated spring water and 5 buckets, asking what he thinks. He freezes for a moment, not because the price is low, but because it is high. Far above expectations. By his own reckoning, 30 seeds plus 1 bottle of potion plus the goji berry would already have been a good trade. She is generous to the point of strange. He had intended to fleece her, and now he is almost embarrassed. That is the power of a rich woman, and he almost loses the will to grind. Willpower wins. He pushes back. That is too much. His goods are not worth that. She replies quietly that while the math for the items is uneven, she values his development potential for long-term cooperation. They are far apart, and she has no recourse if he takes the trade and ghosts her, so paying extra is a risk but a real confidence move. Sensing his hesitation, she adds, your regional rank in this temporary mission cannot be low. Your mutated spring water as a silver-rank sustainable resource matters greatly to me. I am willing to take a certain risk. Cooperation is mutual, and you also need things I have. In the dark world's danger far exceeds what either of us imagines, so, partners survive better. Long-term is the framing. She is right that the spring water is what really matters, and the cooperation framing follows. His own preference is to specialize in one path and concentrate resources in that direction, like classes in a game where combat, recon, support, and logistics combine to outperform generalists. The risk is that specializing creates weaknesses, and entrusting safety to a stranger is a death sentence. This is not a game. He has only set his own career path. if her toolkit complements his long-term works. He asks, cooperation needs mutual benefit. Do you have other advantages? Because once my food is self-sufficient, these go down in value. She's not annoyed and answers confidently, all her items, skills and resources are plant-related, giving her a unique advantage in cultivating plants. The multi-year winter wheat is her own breed with astonishing yield. As long as he keeps trading her spring water, she keeps cultivating mutated plants, and she will give him first dibs. Without plant specialization, he would burn resources for poor results. Once he has used spring water himself, he knows exactly what she means, that harmful mutations dominate beneficial ones. Cooperation is a total win-win. She is also a committed survivor just on plants. Smart people abound. He is not the only one to commit early, with her continually breeding mutated plants for him. The partnership is real. He drops all hesitation and agrees. Happy cooperation. Happy cooperation. They complete the trade. Then he asks casually why she started buying from him at the start of the temporary mission instead of selling for upgrade points. She replies, oh, she already upgraded her shelter to level 2 during the day, so the mission was completed instantly when it dropped. Completed during the day. He freezes in place in a distant corner of the dark world. Chinga chuckles softly, having anticipated exactly this reaction, and she tells herself that showing some strength makes cooperation easier. After the trade, he is nearly broke, so he keeps crafting and selling buckets through the night. The night runs 16 hours, and sleeping through it all is wasteful. He plans 7 hours of sleep, dedicating the rest to his workbench. Her casual words got under his skin. He knew there would be monsters who upgraded quickly, but daytime upgrades are on another level, and his imagination cannot even fathom it. Even for him, felling a tree takes 8 minutes. Could she be a delicate-looking woman who is actually a muscle-bound axe wielder? Luckily, they are not in the same region. Otherwise, he would only be competing for second place. He sketches a figure with 2 axes and bulging muscles, tearing through trees, only for the face to turn around and be Chinga. He shivers, snaps out of his daze, checks the time, and finds 8 unconscious hours have passed. What was he thinking? Chinga's ability. And that is how she upgraded so fast. The muscle scenario was a fatigue-induced hallucination. He has crafted too long, draining his mental and physical strength limit. He finishes the bucket he is currently working on, stopping to survey the heap in the room. Those 8 hours have been rough, his hands stiff from repetition. A bucket that took 10 minutes early on now takes 20 as his speed sags. He has crafted 39 buckets, plus 1 left from a trade. Exactly 40. He keeps 10, selling the rest for 180 wood and 30 stone. Big shot now. He looks over the shelter facilities. A storage cabinet, wooden bed, dual use stove totaling only 80 wood and 30 stone. Since they are necessary, he builds all 3 at once, placing the facilities exactly where he wants them. The dual use stove goes in the center, the wooden bed near it, and the storage cabinet far from the heat to slow food spoilage. He throws the cotton quilt onto the bed. The stove's intense warmth, the soft quilt, the comfortable bed. His eyelids droop, but he fights the exhaustion to open the trade channel once more, because the seeds he traded from Xinghao still need planting, and it is not bedtime yet. 10 minutes of browsing pulls up exactly what he needs: a 3-story nursery, black iron rank, 2 by 2 meters, 3-story planter, increasing plant growth speed by 10%. Owner Thompson wants 60 wood. A growth-boosting nursery is hard currency. The night is dangerous ground, and he will not plant his food outside, so an indoor nursery is mandatory. 60 wood is steep, but after hours of bucketing he can afford it. Hard-earned resources mean he refuses to pay full price and haggles in the traditional way. The owner's name looks foreign, which would have killed his chances if not for the system's translation function. He offers 55 wood. Thompson swears to God it is worth it, saying it grows delicious vegetables. He tells him that after the mission everyone burned wood on upgrades, leaving few buyers at 60. Thompson concedes to 56, refusing to go any lower. He is in a rush to plant and sleep, so he buys it, placing the nursery near the door so daytime sun reaches the soil through the open curtain. Each layer is 2 by 2 meters. With a soil tray and half a meter of headroom, no tall plants, but for him it is enough. He sows the 100 multi-year winter wheat seeds evenly, dripping ripening potion on each according to Xinghao's instructions, and 1 bottle of potion is used up exactly. He waters them with 3 wood worth of river water. The seeds sprout out of the soil within a single minute, the effect brutally fast and shocking. Makes absolutely no sense. A harvest is only days away, showing how this dark world has outpaced science with its supernatural items and magic scrolls. He orders his 8 hunting ants into the nursery to loosen soil without damaging the tender seedlings. Throws firewood into the stove, drops onto his bed, wraps himself up, and passes out cold. He wakes up, the cold announcement begins. Survivors for successfully surviving another night, but then a natural disaster warning is issued. He rubs his eyes, slowly pulling himself out of a dream. The panel shows daytime remaining at 7 hours, 29 minutes, and 12 seconds. He jolts. Did he oversleep? Did he just waste half an hour of precious daytime? Checking the chat, he realizes he did not oversleep at all. Daytime has shrunk from 8 hours to 7 and a half shorter days. Before he can react, the voice continues. This natural disaster is a cold wave. In 7 days, an Arctic cold wave will bring freezing temperatures to the entire continent. Everyone must collect winter food as fast as possible to survive this incoming disaster. Suddenly, he is wide awake. A cold wave is exactly what the dropping temperatures hinted at, and most survivors already expected something similar, but what absolutely nobody anticipated was the short 7-day limit. Once the freeze hits and outdoor temperatures plummet, exploration will be impossible, meaning he needs to gather a month worth of food, a month of firewood, and heavy winter gear, all stored safely inside his shelter. Even with his top-tier setup, the pressure is building and the urgency is intense, especially for players still stuck in level 1 huts. Most have nothing but fragile, decaying walls. He honestly thought this world was. He was wrong, dead wrong. He quickly opens the chat. Over 9,500 people left on day 2, absolutely chilling. And that many are already dead. Every digit represents a real life. The chat is in absolute panic. A cold wave in 7 days lasting an entire month. Just end me now. Players are starving already, unable to even find today's meal, let alone a monthly reserve. Perhaps the wave has stages allowing them to gather supplies early on. Some try to reassure the crowd. The freezing temperatures might build up slowly instead of hitting full force on day 1. In these 7 days, everyone must upgrade to level 2 or 3, or food won't be enough to save them. There is no time to argue, just keep chopping. Armed with new bronze tools, survivors are desperately trading. Some are offering river water in bulk, charging 3 wood per liter. Others list raw flint for 10 wood each before prices spike. Cotton scraps are up next, offered as makeshift insulation at 2 wood per bundle, with only 10 bundles left. He shuts down the screen before the rising panic can drag him under. He opens the trade channel and lists 1 milliliter of mutated spring water for 10,000 wood, not expecting to sell it, but to use the high-traffic slot as a massive billboard with a critical message. He is buying bulk ant species, which must include a queen ant offering high-value resources. Without a queen, his insect army simply cannot scale. He direct messages Chuang, asking her to search for nearby colonies. As a plant specialist, she is constantly working the soil and might stumble across a nest. Now he prepares to head out. Passing the nursery, he checks his wheat, already sprouting. A few more hours and it is ripe. His limits were too narrow. In this dark world, anything is possible. After warming up, he takes a few hunting ants and he steps outside. The morning light is bright, just slightly colder than yesterday. Seeing no other major changes, he sets his hunting ants down, ordering them to locate their queen and bring her back. These hunters evolved from black size ants and can read their pheromones easily, standing a real chance of actually finding her. Meanwhile, he decides to spend 30 minutes exploring. A chest would bring massive profit, but even simple scouting is valuable before he chops trees. Heading east today, opposite to yesterday. 10 minutes in, he stops in surprise. He frowns. The dark border should have appeared by now, yet bright forest remains. He has a theory. Did reaching level 2 expand his safe territory? The world chat is silent about it, so he messages Changha for details. Since she already agreed to help find ants, she replies with an explanation. Reaching level 2 expands the territory from 300 meters to 500 meters. However, dangerous mutated beasts now roam the outer borders, making exploration highly risky. She warns him to stay back without combat power. He thanks her, looking ahead. Chests are likely hidden inside, but the threat of mutated beasts is very real. Even ordinary monsters would crush him now. Patience is key to long-term success. He will gather resources today, evolve some ants to silver, then return later. Walking back to the birch grove, he notices the small saplings are gone. Only massive, sturdy trees remain. They require far more effort to cut down. Luckily, his bronze axe makes the heavy labor manageable. He swings, 2 hours later. A massive timber pile sits ready, just as he finishes to craft buckets. He turns quickly, a sharp signal just pinged through his species contract. The lead hunting ant is carrying a massive queen with a bloated abdomen. Behind her, more than 100 black scythe ants are being marched like prisoners. The hunting squad completely raided the nest, securing the queen and solving his numbers. Problem: Zheng Haiyan drops his heavy axe and runs over, zero hesitation. A deep purple glow flares in his left eye as his taming skill hits. The queen is rankless, but she holds a high potential for silver growth. Her mutation success rate is 48%, improvable by feeding her raw flesh. There is a strong chance she stays reproductive, with rare mutation potential. Once the link seals, the restless crowd of scythe ants instantly falls silent. They stand completely still, waiting for instructions under their new absolute master. It is a massive revelation. Controlling the queen grants him control over the entire colony. This is great. It dramatically reduces his spiritual power burden. Managing individual ants is easy, but a massive army would drain him dry. With only one queen to command, he can effortlessly guide a million-strong legion. The sheer potential is staggering, and his eyes lock onto her with intensity. She is far too valuable to risk, making a 48% mutation rate too low. Fortunately, using his unique species contract allows a reliable way to boost it. He puts aside 41 units of wood to focus entirely on her evolution. The quicker she mutates, the sooner she can spawn a massive army of soldiers. He opens the trading interface and begins filtering for raw flesh. Since it is still daytime, only a few brave hunters have posted listings. There are barely a dozen pages available, none showing high-grade options. He ignores the expensive ranked meat completely, looking for bulk deals instead. He searches for black iron and above, skipping price gougers. Only a few candidates remain. One option wins: mutated rabbit meat, black iron rank from Will Porter, 20. Wood per half kilo, mutated wild boar meat, bronze grade from the same owner, 40. Wood, having one seller offer both at scale means high combat power and valuable intelligence plus a negotiable bulk price, counting the freshly chopped 41 logs. He has 98 wood total. Plenty. He messages Will right away. He says he will take the mutated rabbit and mutated wild boar meat listed. He asks if the price can go lower. Will takes 5 minutes to reply. Will points out the price is already very favorable, but Zhang Haiyan counters. Sure, but almost nobody can afford meat right now, and his listing has been up. While he has a long-term demand for high-quality meat and wants to cooperate. They could work together. Meanwhile, in a distant corner of this dark world, nearly 2-meter-tall shirtless man props a blood-dripping, long-handled axe on the ground and frowns deeply at his manual. After thinking for a moment, he writes back he is somewhat interested in cooperating, since Zhang Haiyan can afford this. He must be a strong survivor. Will cannot drop the price, but he can offer a small gift. He sends over item info for mutated rabbit blood of black iron rank and mutated wild boar blood of bronze grade. Beast blood raises mutation success rates, essentially acting as a discount. He agrees. They trade 60 wood for a half kilo of each meat, plus the 2 bottles of blood. After the trade, he asks another question, since Will can hunt this many mutated beasts, he must know about them. He asks him for info ready to pay, since mutated beast intel is highly valuable to him. Will is quite generous and replies almost instantly, saying it is no problem. He had hunted plenty of beasts even before coming to the Dark Continent. Mutated beasts here, compared to Blue Star beasts, have not only grown significantly larger, but have also become more violent and savage, with completely changed appearances. Mutated rabbit is 80 centimeters long and has grown a pair of sharp fangs. The moment it saw him, instead of running, it charged with bloodshot eyes. He warns Zhang Haiyan not to provoke them without combat skills, as they have surpassed ordinary beasts, with Chang Hao's earlier warning still fresh in his mind. Zhang Haiyan's caution doubles. He thanks Will, knowing they usually do not wander, as long as he does not approach the new ground. There should be no danger for now. He puts down the manual and takes out the mutated rabbit and wild boar meat. Both are bright red, marbled and fresh with Rich blood, 2 days in this world feel like a month without meat, and his mouth waters at the thought of roasting them. He forces his craving down and orders the queen to eat the rabbit meat first. She crawls over, opening her side-like mandibles to devour it. Her progress ticks up from 48% to 49% and keeps climbing. Black iron flesh is a serious tonic for her. If black iron pushes this fast, what about bronze? Will bronze meat instantly hit 100%? He switches her to the mutated wild boar meat without hesitation. And the progress climbs rapidly, hitting 65% before stalling for an ordinary ant. 65% is fantastic, but for a queen with no second chance, only 100% is truly safe. Then he looks at her. Her bulging abdomen is now several times. She is growing even bigger, flopping down next to the boar meat, too stuffed to move. It gives him a quick scare. He laughs it off and orders her to digest, keep eating, and goes back to chopping wood. Half an hour later, when he checks on her again, her mutation rate is already at 100%. He immediately carries her over to the mutated spring water for a quick drink. Her body is simply massive, and she drinks down a full milliliter before finally stopping. Under his anxious gaze, her massive body expands rapidly as the mutation finishes. Meet the black iron rank black scythe hunter ant queen, potential silver. She is reproductive with rapid breeding. Her next mutation success rate sits at 11%. Her overall quality jumps straight from no rank to black iron, unlocking rapid reproduction. More importantly, she can now breed black iron hunting ants directly. This means he never has to waste mutated water on basic cultivation. He just needs to keep her well fed, and these brand new hunting ants already possess solid combat power. Their only bottleneck was numbers, which is now solved. Once their numbers explode, hunting high-level mutated beasts is on the table. That massive, terrifying ant army he kept dreaming of is finally becoming a reality. He gathers his 8 existing hunting ants and drops mutated meat nearby. They feed alongside their queen to boost their mutation rates before breeding with her. Watching her belly grow, he cannot help but laugh at the sight. With endless food, water, and a breeding harem, she lives far better than him. He leaves them to breed a massive army and grabs his trusty bronze axe. Heading back out, he receives a private message near the grove. It is a message from Chungha asking him to check out a new ant species. She immediately sends over the ant's details. It is an ungraded century ant queen boasting 3 pairs of compound eyes. They are incredibly swift and perfect for scouting duties. This brand new scouting queen is exactly the final missing piece to his grand plan. He can use the fierce flesh-eating ants for combat and these swift herbivores for scouting. Eventually, he will house them both in a single, massive shared nest. Talk about a stroke of luck, first the black scythe queen and now this. This is double the good fortune, so he messages her back to ask for trade details. She replies that she stumbled onto the queen while tilling her crops. Since it cost her 0 effort, she happily gives it to him for free. But he hesitates. Even if it is a minor thing to her, it is massive to him. Chungha then asks if he could keep an eye out for any useful plant seeds. She has to get back to work, but trades him a wooden bottle. Inside is the century ant queen, along with more than 20 of her worker ants. They boast 3 pairs of compound eyes and dark green helmet-shaped heads. They peer around like tiny sentries. His ally is incredibly reliable. He definitely owes her a real favor. Suddenly, a purple light flickers inside his left eye. The new century queen falls under his control instantly without any resistance. She is ungraded but has a bronze potential. Her current mutation success rate stands at 67%. Feeding her plant-based materials is highly likely to evolve her reproductive type. He reviews system stats that Chinga cannot see. Bronze potential has a lower ceiling than the silver black scythe queen. It is slightly disappointing, but they are different species with different growth potentials. Luckily, the century ant feeds on plants and its growth is already at 67%, making their food path incredibly cheap compared to meat-eating black scythe ants. This plant diet is brutally cost-effective. Besides, these are scouts, which might be even more useful than pure combat ants. The 4-eyed century ant queen, with her twitching antennae and round belly, looks at him. And he nods in satisfaction, feeding her basic grass works, but the growth rate caps out on ordinary greenery. To fix this, he needs his go-to plant expert. He shamelessly messages Chinga again, asking for high-quality plant materials. She is busy but replies in 3 minutes, asking if he wants food or something else. Any plant, he tells her, wood or leaves, it does not have to be edible, she ponders. How about some bronze-grade sandalwood wudang wood, she offers. He knew he asked the right person. He tells her it is perfect and asks how she wants to trade, insisting she let him pay. If she gives it away for free, he will be too embarrassed to ask next time. She smiles to herself. Small things reveal character, and although he has what she needs. If he were too greedy, she would only offer limited cooperation, only with decent character will she treat him as a long-term ally. She replies with a fair deal. Even as bronze grade, its uses are limited, so 1 unit of sandalwood. For 5 units of regular wood, he accepts without haggling and places the timber beside the new Century Ant Queen and 10 of her workers, and they immediately start. Knowing the growth rate climbs fast, 5 minutes later, all 11 hit 100% and he leads them to the spring water. The Century Queen mutates faster than the black Scythe Ant Queen. In just 1 minute she is done. The 10 ordinary ants finish even faster. The Century Ant Queen reaches black iron with bronze-grade potential. She is a reproductive type with rapid reproduction and mutation evolution. Success rate of 10%, which plant materials can raise, likely reproductive evolution. The workers are black iron rank, bronze grade, and specialized in reconnaissance. Gaining basic agility, their evolution success rate is 10% with plant materials boosting their rate. Evolution is likely for reconnaissance, unlike the black scythe ants who exploded in size. This new Century Ant Queen only grows slightly larger while the workers look unchanged. The queen has rapid reproduction like her counterpart, and the workers have unlocked basic agility. Compared to a 10-fold bite force, basic agility sounds boring until he lets one move. It darts across the shelter in seconds, far faster than he can walk. For that body size, the speed is incredible. If basic is this fast, what about intermediate or advanced levels? With this speed and reconnaissance, his scouting efficiency will skyrocket as their numbers grow, letting him stay safe inside while the ants scout the perimeter. He manages this new queen and her colony just like before. He drops the sandalwood beside them, letting them feed and multiply at the same time. Once the century ants settle, he decides to head out on another stroll for chests within 300 meters. The 300 to 500 ring stays off limits per Will's. Following Will and Chingaz's warnings, half an hour later he has nothing. Either he has cleared the area out already, or his luck is dry today. As he reaches the easternmost 300, either the area is already cleared, or his luck is running dry near the eastern border. Just as he prepares to turn back, he freezes. A tiny tree under 2 meters tall stands, head hung with a dozen fist-sized red fruits, lush and tempting. Right beneath it sits a wooden treasure chest. The catch is that it sits over 300 meters away. Mutated beast territory, fight or run. His mind locks into a desperate mental standoff. Between safety and greed, a sudden freeze hits, so cold he has been running around chopping wood in a padded jacket and barely felt the freezing chill. But the moment he stops, the cold lands hard. The system panel is already below zero. Yesterday it was 5 degrees. The freezing wind clears his head, less than 7. Days remain until the cold wave, and food is nowhere near enough. Hesitation will ruin his day. One laid, he makes a quick decision to go for it. 60 meters. There and back 3 minutes total, but he does not rush in. He finds a tall tree with good visibility and climbs it. From up high, he scans the area for 10 minutes. We'll describe mutated beasts as massive, meaning a small space cannot easily hide one. He sees absolutely nothing, sighs in relief, climbs down, grabs his bronze axe and steps into dangerous ground. Players on the channel agreed that within 300 meters, resources are basic, but crossing that line means richer loot like iron and bronze, alongside insanely high danger. It is a massive risk for a huge reward. This is his first time crossing, and he is incredibly nervous. Those 60 meters take nearly 2 minutes with no incident. He reaches the small tree, picking and stuffing 6 red fruits into his unbuttoned collar until his clothes bulge to maximum capacity. He does not push his luck. With his right hand still gripping the heavy axe, he scoops up the wooden chest with his left arm and turns to run. The closer he gets to safety, the more he relaxes, already daydreaming. You just know this is where things go wrong. Then a sound like wind through grass echoes behind him on a completely still evening. With absolutely no breeze, he does not feel any wind hitting his skin. That creepy realization Hits him a second too late, but his reflexes instantly kick in. He drops the chest, swings his axe up to block, and pivots just as a dark shape leaps at him. He blocks a heavy bang. Brutal force surges up the haft, sending him stumbling 5 steps back. The beast bounces back too, a giant squirrel, but standing 50 centimeters tall on its hind legs, sporting sharp fangs and blazing red eyes. Dripping with bloodlust, nothing like any normal animal, a mutated squirrel, black iron rank. It uses junior concealment to boost the success rate of hiding its own tracks, so this is a mutated beast, exactly like Will's description. Despite his extreme caution, a stealthy monster slipped right past his initial scan from a hidden burrow. He cannot outrun this thing on rough terrain, and that's safe. Zone label is just a meaningless name. Only an idiot would trust it. Fortunately, it is just a giant squirrel, and he has a heavy weapon. The creature pounces again, instantly giving him absolutely no time to prepare. He counts down in his head now, calculating its leap arc. At the absolute peak of its jump, he brings the axe down with both hands across its neck, driving the blade forward as if he is slamming it directly into the ground. Unable to redirect midair, the beast watches the blade close on its face. With no way to dodge, the desperate creature lashes out with its claws and rips 2 deep gashes across his chest, tearing his protective padded coat wide open as the blade lands. The squirrel crashes and rolls, badly wounded but still alive. He does not think, step in, chop again. Blood splatters and it goes silent. He stands still, gasping for breath, heart pounding. The adrenaline masks the pain, but as soon as the battle ends, a massive wave of fatigue hits him. His entire body is sore as if he was beaten. A first life or death fight naturally brings this on. But he cannot stay. The blood smell might draw in more dangerous monsters. He lifts the dead squirrel onto the chest, tucks both under his arm, and stumbles back toward his shelter. Only when those safe walls finally come into view does he exhale in relief. And the fresh harvest tucked inside his collar makes him smile. He shuts the door, sits, and begins sorting. Mutated squirrels are massive compared to ordinary ones under a pound. This one weighs 6 pounds. After removing the inner organs and the bones, he gets 3 portions of meat, 1 hide, and 200 milliliters of blood. At current market rates, that equals 80 units of wood for just minutes of fighting. Hunting mutated beasts pays way better than chopping, but he quickly pushes that daydream aside. The danger is on a whole different level, and today was just a lucky, clean fight. Mutated creatures carry deadly pathogens. A small wound to his neck could prove fatal. The squirrel meat is on the menu tonight. The blood goes to his hunting ants, and the hide gets repurposed as a scarf or gloves. Next, he finally opens the black iron chest. Inside is rye bread, a buckwheat pillow, and a third item, another manufacturing blueprint. He never expected a black iron chest to actually drop a blueprint, especially since the bread and pillow alone were already a great haul, but the system has other plans. The third item is a familiar cowhide scroll, and he recognizes it instantly. A pointed wooden fence blueprint of black iron rank. It might catch any careless climber right by the crotch. It encloses a shelter to keep monsters away. The cost is just 1 unit of wood per piece, taking 3 minutes. Excellent shelter safety is hard currency in this dark world. Wood is the most plentiful resource he has. Selling buckets was a good gig. But everyone will have buckets soon, causing prices to crash within a couple of days. He cannot afford to trade away his rare resources. He was wondering how to keep earning, and the system answered. He uses it on the spot without crafting any fences yet. He lays out his 6 red heart fruits on the floor. Red heart fruits are bronze grade, known to boost physical stats and accelerate muscle recovery. They provide a permanent stamina buff and repair cellular damage. These unique fruits are perfectly heart-shaped, which explains the name, right. After a grueling day of chopping and a life or death fight, his muscles are aching everywhere, and the timing could not be better. He wipes one on his sleeve and takes a bite. The sweet, rich juice floods his mouth, and he swallows before even fully savoring the taste. Only 3 melon seed-sized seeds remain, as expected of bronze grade. Its flavor completely blows away any fruit he has ever tasted. Soon, a warm current spreads through his body, and all soreness completely vanishes. Within 10 minutes, he feels fully recovered, with his muscle fibers thicker than before. He wants another fruit immediately, but forces himself to stop. These are best used right after intense workouts, when muscle fibers are torn. With only 6 left, wasting them is foolish. He wonders if Chinga can cultivate them in bulk. If so, they could have Absolute red heart fruit freedom. After eating that, his anxiety about this dark world turns into anticipation. Yes, it is dangerous but full of opportunities, he messages Chinga. The fruits details to ask if cultivation is possible, and she replies almost. She gets excited immediately, a bronze-grade fruit physique with fast recovery. Is possible, but the rarer the plant, the lower her success rate. That means she needs more seeds and ideally a branch from the mother tree itself. She is a absolute plant fanatic. No wonder she chose this path, he tells her. He discovered this strange fruit in the newly unlocked zone, where one specific tree has over 10 fruits left, but a mutated squirrel attacked him and left him bleeding there. So he cannot return today. This news instantly panics her. She demands he treat it immediately, but thankfully, he walked away without a scratch. That is a relief because in this brutal world, healing plants do not exist yet. Squirrels are hoarding experts, she notes, meaning that Den is bound to have a massive stockpile. Scout it when safe. He was running too fast to remember squirrel habits. Without her tip, he would have missed it. He thanks her and asks her to try cultivating. He trades 3 red heart fruit seeds and a whole fruit, refusing any resources in return. After all, she gave him those century ants for free, so this evens things out perfectly. Meanwhile, Chingas stares at the heart-shaped fruit and smiles wryly. She decides she needs to start paying closer attention to ant-related items so she does not keep owing him favors. She should probably ask Baekyeon, who likely has the right intel. After their chat, 3.5 hours of daylight remain. The new zone is tempting, but that mutated squirrel was a warning. Meeting a carnivorous monster right now, total suicide. Means he becomes dinner. He switches to building defenses instead. He crafts 1 fence first to estimate enclosing a decent area takes 100 fences and 5 hours. Crafting time, which is way too much. He scales down to 30 or 40 fences. For a smaller yard he can finish before dark. Having 38 wood is plenty. He heads to his wood pile by the birch grove and starts crafting. 2 hours later, after the red heart fruit heals him, he is full of energy and crafts nonstop. A massive pile of fences accumulates. He stands back satisfied, then carries several to the shelter. He uses his bronze axe as both a shovel and a hammer to drive them deep into the frozen dirt. The ground is rock hard from the freezing cold, and installation takes some serious effort. By the time the fences are up, the entire sky has gone completely dark. With 31 minutes left, it is minus 10 degrees outside. Standing still after sweating is painfully cold, so he quickly ducks inside. Night is closing in and his physical energy is completely spent. The stove wood has burned out. Talk about a massive oversight. He realizes he used every unit of wood on the fences. Instead of panicking and heading into the cold, he breaks down his black iron chest to get 5 units of wood. Keeping the storage box is fine for now. He throws 1 piece into the stove, lights it, and immediately starts crafting more fences. He tentatively lists a single fence on the trade market for 5 units of wood. A net of 4 wood in 3 minutes easily beats crafting wooden buckets. Wood per piece for 10 minutes of work. He crafts 2 more fences, but the listing is not selling. The price is too high or fewer buyers are online. He drops to 4 wood per piece and the fence sells instantly. Messages flood in asking if he has more. He tells everyone to wait while he continues crafting, earning 4 wood per fence with 1 wood cost means 1 wood per minute. That beats chopping trees any day. Night closes, strong winds, cloudy, minus 14.1. Inside it is 8.1 degrees. Outdoors, temperatures are plummeting fast. Even with upgrades, the stove fails to heat. Absolute zero is coming. In a few days, his shelter will freeze. The biting cold wave has not even started yet, meaning he must level up as quickly as possible. Reaching level 3 is absolutely critical right now, or the incoming freezing weather will end him. Upgrading combat must wait. Right now, survival is the ultimate priority. He notices something odd. There is no world announcement today. That mysterious voice was his daily survival routine, making this sudden, eerie silence deeply unsettling. No settlements, no quests. The system is forcing pure survival now. There are no carrots, just the stick. Sure enough, the global chat is panicking. Where are the rewards, and why is there absolutely no settlement update for us today? Perhaps those day 1 bonuses were just a one-time startup gift. Without those rewards, relying on raw physical labor alone is a straight path to doom. But wait, some players claim they can survive just finding chests. Skeptics scoff at that, arguing that if chests were that easy, nobody would chop wood. Then hunt mutated beasts instead. Meat brings the best return on investment. But absolutely nobody believes the old-timers, openly accusing them of being far too cunning to trust. After seeing a mutated goat snap a tree, everyone knows the danger. Even so, those first-day rewards motivated everyone enough to push most players to level 2. Jang Hoon closes the channel and checks on his ant queens. The silver potential Black Scythe Hunter Queen has only reached 51% of her growth. That lower potential Century Queen has already hit 76%, showcasing a massive growth gap. Growth speed seems directly tied to their potential. The Century Ant has only bronze potential, so it climbs faster. With silver potential, the Black Scythe Hunter Queen needs much more time to finish her evolution. But with 16 hours of night left, both can finish tonight. He still has plenty of high-quality bronze boar meat and premium sandalwood to feed them. They devour it incredibly fast, eating much quicker than the nursery. Next, he checks his farming trays, finding the winter wheat growing incredibly dense and packed. The tightly packed ears promise a massive 10-kilogram harvest very soon. That ripening agent is unreal. Harvest is only a few hours away. Jing's botanical work is truly magnificent, slowly putting his constant food worries entirely to rest. Before he can even message her to ask for more seeds, she pings him first. She asks if his ability is ant-related, attaching info on a rare item. He reads the screen and his eyes widen, an ant nest nucleus. This rare bronze-grade item boosts queen breeding speed by a massive 20% over baseline. It also gradually grants the entire colony permanent attribute boosts. While labeled bronze, the actual effect makes it look like a divine artifact. This niche item is insanely overpowered in the right hands. To anyone else, it is completely useless, left rotting at the bottom of a chest. A 20% breeding speed increase is a massive deal. That means extra ants overnight without spending extra resources per unit. This compounds beautifully once his queens hit bronze. Initially, the 30% food increase looks like a heavy tax. But higher food intake actually drives mutation success, making it a win. That means a 30% mutation acceleration, even with the slow attribute. This buff quietly raises an entire colony over several days, half the items he rejected in the trade channel had narrower descriptions than this at 10 times the price. That 20% breeding speed compounds horribly in his favor. Since ants win on numbers, the 30% food consumption looks bad, but for him it is an upside. Eating drives mutation. More food means faster. Mutation, the slow buff, is just a bonus. He can't keep a poker face. To tell Seongha this is highly useful, offering to trade even more spring water as compensation. After a day, he has another 100 milliliters and doesn't need it all. She replies that it is fine, having traded for it from an acquaintance who claimed ants were too weak and useless, so the item had been at the bottom and went cheap. She offers to introduce them if there is a chance. She seems a bit erratic but trustworthy, hearing that ants are looked down upon. He doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. It tracks, even he with all the relevant skills and items hasn't produced any visible results from his ants. Yet their consumption has been heavy, and people without those items would be crazy to invest in ants. Better that everyone underestimates them. Cheaper too. Scoop up ant-related items at low cost. Sensing his silence, Shiyunha gently encourages him, saying the dark world holds infinite possibilities. Focus resources on one path and persevere. No matter the path, it works. He tells her he isn't giving up. He has a feeling that an explosion of strength is near. He thanks her and starts the trade. He puts up 50 milliliters of mutated spring water, receiving the ant nest nucleus, 100 multi-year winter wheat seeds, and 3 bottles of ripening agent. She protests that he is giving too much, but he insists. Tomorrow during the day he will check the squirrel den and red heart fruit tree. He will contact her after he has plant seeds. Done, she says, promising to keep an eye out for ant items. This trade leaves both of them better off. She gets a reliable spring water pipeline for her plant work. He gets a reliable food and seed pipeline plus a niche item scout, and their favors balance over time. Cooperation in this dark world is hard because no party can easily enforce a deal, so each transaction also doubles as a character probe. After 2 days of trades, his read on her is steady. Her read on him, judging by her continued generosity, is also steady. He looks at the nucleus, black peach pit-sized, rough and irregular. Its description says to place it in an ant nest, raising the question of where to Build it underground is logical, but outside is dangerous monster territory. Inside, the shelter with fences up is safer. He picks a spot near the spring water. Source, he tells the hunting ants and sentry ants to stop eating and dig a nest. Sentry ants for speed, hunting ants for power. In under 10 minutes, a decent ant nest is dug. Better still, since both species are tamed by him, they share a single nest, which never happens in nature. Both groups benefit from the nucleus simultaneously. He drops the nucleus in and has them all move in. Their eating speeds visibly increase, and so do mutation rates. The sentry ant queen, already high level, looks like she will finish in minutes. He holds off on letting the queens breed yet because offspring inherit the quality. If she breeds it black iron, the new ants will be black iron, making upgrades expensive later. Resources and precious spring water. He must push the queen to bronze first, then her offspring to bronze. The sentry ant limit is bronze, so once she hits bronze, she will breed at full capacity. The black scythe hunter ant queen needs more planning. If her level rate stalls after hitting bronze, an early breeding wave might be necessary. Sentry ants are only scouts, not actual soldiers, and after that, mutated squirrel, he wants some real bodyguards. A signal pings through their species contract. The sentry ant queen and her 10 harem ants hit 100%. Simultaneously, he sends them to drink spring water. Bronze evolution looks harder than black iron, 5 to 10 minutes but 0 fatalities. Sentry ant queen. Bronze rank breeding type, potential bronze rank, limit reached, but it can be broken with special items or skills. Abilities include rapid reproduction, production, expansion. Sentry ants are bronze rank, reconnaissance type, potential bronze rank, limit reached but breakable with special items or skills. Their abilities are basic agility and beginner detection. The queen's abdomen has grown, 3 pairs of compound eyes are now 4. Her helmet is darker and shinier. Antennae are longer. The workers are pinky finger sized now, neat little soldiers. Production expansion increases her breeding quantity, stacking with rapid reproduction. The army builds incredibly fast. Workers now have beginner detection. Given how strong basic agility was, even beginner detection should be seriously useful. Once these sentry ants multiply, every chest in his territory gets swept clean. He orders the queen and her harem to breed, right as he settles them in. The black scythe hunting ant signal pings. The hunter ant queen is also ready. Time to move. The black scythe hunter ant queen and her 8 hunting ants drink spring water, repeating the sentry ants' evolution route, but their massive transformation takes a full 10 minutes for their larger bodies. When they emerge at bronze grade, he is absolutely stunned. Those thumb-sized hunting ants have grown more than 10 times. Reaching fist size, their jet black carapace looks ridiculously sturdy, mandibles longer, and their bodies like 2 massive scythes. Honestly, one bite would easily crush a leg. And he is glad they are on his side. The queen's body grew several sizes, and her mandibles are actually smaller than the workers. The hunter ant queen also gained production expansion, while the workers picked up junior fortification. He taps an ant's shell. It feels like metal. He steps on it lightly, no reaction. Combined with scythe attacks, this defense is unreal. At scale, mutated beasts will not survive. Excited, he has the queen finish the rest of the boar meat. To push towards silver, she devours it, 3 tails gone in seconds. Then he checks the progress rate, only +1%. 3 tails of bronze meat equal 12 units of wood, meaning getting her to 100% requires 1,200 units of wood. The bronze to silver gap is brutal. Talk about a massive paywall. Take it slow. Bronze hunting ants are strong enough. Build the army first and push the queen to silver later. He sends her into the nest to breed, too. They expand the nest first because the original is too small. Now for logistics, sentry ants eat plants, even wood, making their supply line essentially the same as his fuel pile. Hunting ants eat meat, but he has very little. Meat is also expensive on the channel and hard to source regularly, since most survivors do not have the strength to hunt mutated beasts. Those who can, like Will, he lists small portions. He throws his own mutated squirrel meat straight into the ant nest for the hunter queen, leaving himself with nothing. Dinner is rye bread and water. Choked down, just bear it for now. Once his hunting ant army grows to scale, meat will be on the table daily. Plump white eggs already fill the nest. It is a massive mood boost. But the queen's food supply is dropping fast. No food means no eggs. Piles of wood are turned into fences. 7 hours of pure, relentless labor. He collapses spread eagle on his bed. His physical limit was shattered hours ago. A red heart fruit reset his muscles, but spirit power has no quick fix. That empty feeling hurts 10 times worse than physical pain. He needs help. He desperately needs spiritual restoration items. In 7 hours, he crafted 130. Fences, that is just 10 short of his theoretical maximum limit. They sell for 4 wood each, netting a clean profit of 390 wood. But the nest is empty. He messages Will, asking if he has any meat left. Meanwhile, inside a dark wooden cabin adorned with animal hides, a massive man with long golden hair and a bushy beard is tanning leather. Meet Will. His device buzzes. He wipes his hands and opens the message with a grin. Meat customer. Anyone buying bulk meat this early must be incredibly strong. Will loves strong customers. He quickly replies, asking how much the guy needs. Our hero was about to look elsewhere, thinking Will was already fast asleep. He asks for a discount on 5 gin of bronze grade. That is massive. Will smiles and offers the 5 gin for 190 wood, throwing in 5 bottles of beast blood as a gift. Done. Will opens. Manual again to message a different contact. Ryan-gu, I got the wood. This should easily give his ally enough resources to finally hit level 3. So Will has his own network, pooling wood to help an ally level up. Our guy has no idea this is happening. Talk about a massive wake-up call. Someone is already pushing for level 3 in a tight alliance. He barely has time to think. He throws the meat inside, drops the sandalwood, and completely passes out. Sometime later, a sudden global announcement cuts through the silence. Congratulations, survivors, you survived another night. The cold wave arrives in 6 days. A sudden temporary mission is active. Another one already. He sits up straight. The broadcast continues. 3 temporary chests will randomly spawn within the bright zones of each survivor's shelter. Claiming them grants rare items. But once 5,000 chests are opened in a region, all remaining chests vanish. The top 100 fastest collectors will earn premium custom rewards. He immediately starts crunching the numbers to see his actual chances. With 10,000 people per region, that means 30,000 total chests spawn. But with only 5,000 allowed, that is less than 1 chest for every 2 people. The larger your shelter, the bigger the search area, making them harder to find. Plus, level 2 shelters have mutated beasts lurking, which spikes the danger. Those still residing in level 1 shelters might actually have an advantage here. Instantly, the global chat goes absolutely wild. Some are boasting about the top 100, while others are crying over upgrading their shelters just last night. It is pure chaos. By day 3, almost everyone has upgraded, wishing they had waited to secure a top spot. He knew those chests would be his. Finding them was tough, as the past few days had proven. Mutated beasts are dangerous, and many will die. Chat users advise others to just chop trees and let him take the rewards. Truly shameless, but Charge Brother is still in the channel. There were more players than he expected. 800 or 1,000 per region really adds up. He does not panic. He has his own specialists and walks over to the nest. Entrance, looking down, he only sees darkness, making it impossible to get a clear count. The hunting ants had dug much deeper overnight. He orders the queens to summon everyone. Sentry ants stream out, roughly 150 of them by his estimate. Black-sided hunting ants follow closely behind, only 23 of them. The small sentry ants are numerous while hunting ants are few. The queens signal him through their contract. More eggs and weaker juveniles are still inside the nest, needing a few hours to mature. He leaves the queens to mind the nursery and heads outside with the workers. Outside is absolutely freezing. The moment he steps out the door, he shivers violently. He quickly tightens his coat, rubs his hands, and stomps while checking the weather panel. Light snow outdoors is -9.5, indoors is 14.2. 6 hours, 55 minutes, and 12 seconds of daylight remain. His delay cost 30 minutes, leaving him exactly 7 hours. Snowflakes as large as 50-cent coins are drifting down. Soon, a thick white layer will blanket everything. Talk about a massive search headache. Checking the chat, snow is falling near other shelters too, equalizing the field. Fortunately, the sentry ants and hunting ants do not mind the cold. He splits them into 8 squads of 20 ants each, sending 1 squad in every single direction. East, south, west, north, northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest, all ordered to search. They must seek out chests and report any mutated beasts wandering around. Finding chests is their primary task, while gathering beast intel is secondary. Ever since their black iron evolution, they could match his walking speed. But at bronze level, they easily match his run. The 8 squads scatter instantly. 23 bronze hunting ants wait at his feet, fist-sized and looking highly intimidating. This brings him massive comfort. If he runs into another mutated squirrel, he won't sweat. Since he is unsure how many beasts are hiding nearby, he decides to wait. Once the sentry ants report, he will check the red heart fruit tree and squirrel cache. For now, he sends the hunting ants out to follow the sentry ants. Their job is to bring back any chest they find. He keeps 2 close. These 2 will be bodyguards. After that squirrel encounter, he takes 0 chances. He refuses to walk outside without backup, so he heads inside to harvest wheat. Outside, the falling snow is thick enough to muffle the sound of his footsteps. The world feels small. Overnight, his multi-year winter wheat has grown fully ripe. Bright golden stalks cover the trays. He tries using his heavy bronze axe. But the cramped space and tough stalks quickly defeat him. The tool is useless. It is too heavy and blunt. He debates buying scissors or a sickle. Just then, a young black scythe hunting ant peeks from the nest entrance. Its mandibles are shaped like scythes. How could he have forgotten about them? He commands the queen, and 13 young hunting ants emerge to harvest the wheat. Climbing the trays, they slice through the stalks like combined harvesters, fast and efficient. In under 3 minutes, the harvest is done. He prepares to trade Chunha's seeds. Suddenly, a thumping sound echoes outside. His ants are carrying 2 chests across the snow. The ants drop the chests right at his feet, immediately turning back to support the sentry ants. No rest needed. He feels a quick flash of gratitude. Ants do not understand gratitude, but the species contract registers a faint trace of understanding, and that is plenty. Even with double or triple the time, searching for chests alone would be a massive pain. Pure efficiency. The first chest is black iron. Second, bronze. These temporary chests have the exact same loot tables as regular ones. He cracks both open. The black iron chest drops some long cotton socks, a bottle of water, and a black iron pickaxe. The bronze one yields white bread, a black iron machete, 66 cold relief granules, and a bronze grade blueprint. Every single item is highly useful. There are warm cotton socks, a water bottle, a black iron pickaxe to finally start mining stone, and some actual white bread that tastes like real food instead of brick-hard rye. Plus, that black iron machete is incredibly sharp. Much better for fighting than a clumsy axe. Those 66 cold granules are absolute lifesavers. For the upcoming frost, even back on Blue Star, a bad cold could easily escalate. Here, without medicine, it is deadly, but the blueprint is the real shocker. A bronze-grade, quick-acting hemostatic bandage to stop bleeding instantly. The crafting costs are plant fiber, adhesive, and coagulation serum. Even back on Earth, blood losses the leading cause of death, making this craftable bandage worth its weight in gold. But finding the materials is tricky. Only plant fiber seems easy. The adhesive and coagulation serum will require some digging. He will ask Chun Han and will later or scour the trade channel. He learns the blueprint, moves his haul inside, and gets 10 hunting ants to help loosen the soil, plant the new seeds, and shell the harvested wheat. They have 0 complex emotions, just limitless stamina. If they did, they would probably curse him as a ruthless capitalist. 10 adult and 13 young hunting ants finish all the farming chores in under 10 minutes. Talk about peak efficiency. The wheat total is roughly 10 kilograms, exactly as estimated. He sacks it up. Suddenly, a wild idea hits him. What if he rents these ants out to other survivors? Do his taming skills and species contract require physical proximity? If distance is not an issue, he can launch a labor dispatch service using hunting ants for farming, harvesting, or even rental scouts. The profit margins would be massive compared to selling buckets. Plus, there is 0 risk of competition. Since nobody else has tamed these creatures, Kai Young-ah alone would be a major client, especially since his multi-year winter wheat seeds originally came from her. He has no clue how much land she has actually planted. If her crop density is anything like his, harvesting manually would consume her entire day for weeks. He will definitely check the contract range when things quiet down. Still, it is a brilliant business idea. 10 kilograms of wheat can easily sustain him for a month, but he is not alone. His growing ant army needs feeding too. With the cold wave looming, stockpiling food is his absolute priority, which means population control is necessary, especially for the meat-eating hunting ants. He decides to cap them at 50 for now, only replacing any losses. The smaller century Ants are plant-based, so their limit is 1,000. Expanding territory means more. Scouting work, that ceiling will inevitably rise as upgrading his shelter unlocks more. Land, however, the hunting ant limit must stay low until he secures a steady meat supply. Beyond what the queen needs to breed more offspring, once that pipeline is set. With a steady food source, his ant army grows. No self-choking, that principle applies to him. Keep it specialized, never bloat or outgrow what resources can support. Another dozen minutes slip away, still nothing. The third chest remains totally lost. He got the first two in under 10 minutes. Now anxiety climbs, he keeps crafting fences. 20 minutes later, the sentry ant signal finally pings. He leaps up. Immediately, another notification hits and completely freezes his sudden grin. A mutated beast, the last chest is nearby. He grabs his new black iron. Machete takes 10 adult hunting ants and sprints southeast. 5 fast minutes pass. He stops 400 meters out. 40 sentry ants are scattered very close by. Without ant sense, he would never spot them. 13 hunting ants wait nearby. They are expensive to produce. Seeing absolutely zero losses is a huge relief. 15 meters ahead sits a massive 6-meter earthen mound with a 2-meter cave entrance. Is carved right in the center. A massive mutated wild boar sleeps peacefully. The final chest is tucked under its head, a bronze-grade mutated wild boar. It has charge and thick hide. Even resting, the boar stands a meter tall. Standing up, it is 1.5 meters and 300 kilograms. Tusks like 30-centimeter daggers, 2 dangerous abilities hunting ants can take down small mutated beasts, but this bronze boar is too tough. Even winning means losing precious ants, but it is on the chest. Without it, the mission fails. He messages Will. Since Will sells bronze boar meat, he must have killed one. Still no reply. He is probably on his own mission, he must think. Killing it is not the goal. The chest is. He needs a distraction. Hunting ants do damage, but they are too slow. Sentry ants are fast. They make perfect lures, but can tiny sentry ants actually provoke a massive wild boar? Their little stings might not even pierce that thick, armored skin. It might ignore them completely, but sentry ants can swarm into nostrils and ears. Those delicate spots have no armor, meaning any beast can be driven mad by relentless bites in tender places. He must try. He orders 40 of them. Sentry ants to harass the beast. Meanwhile, 10 hunting ants hide in a tree nearby, ready to act on his command. Once the boar leaves, they will grab the chest. He retreats fast because he is a huge target, and one charge means instant death. Just as he clears 100 meters, a furious roar erupts behind him. Heavy thuds shake the ground. His distraction worked. Half the battle is won. Now the sentries must lure it away so hunting ants can steal the chest. He jogs back to the shelter. Outside, the brutal cold stiffens limbs in minutes. Only inside does he thaw. He keeps crafting fences to occupy his mind. 1, 2, 3 fences built. Suddenly, the hunting ant signal pings. He rushes out. An ant is trundling toward him, carrying the temporary black iron chest. Rarity is disappointing, but the ranking only cares about count and speed. He opens it. 3 items spill out instantly. Suddenly, a familiar broadcast rings. The system congratulates him for locating 3 temporary chests inside his territory. Territory in 49 minutes, 53 seconds. The scramble is officially complete. His speed and count rank first in the area. The ultimate reward is a self-selected gold rank item. A small golden box drops into his hand. He has only ever seen silver items. All of them were ridiculously overpowered. He expects even more from gold, but as he reaches to open it, the broadcast rings out again. Total temporary chests found in this area has hit 5,000, all remaining. Uncollected chests vanish instantly. The mission is officially over. Wait, he just opened his 3rd chest and the mission ended. That means in this entire region, no other survivor managed to find 3. Are these chests really that hard to locate for level 2? And higher survivors, massive territories, and mutated beasts make sense, but level 1 survivors with 300-meter ranges and no beast threats should have managed. 3, they are too weak. For his sentry ants, though, it is easy, without the boar. Sleeping beast he would have finished in 20 minutes. He was tense, and they could not see his taillights. The chat is absolutely wailing at this sudden end, already over. Some complain they only found 1. The hiding spots were insane, like on a shelter roof. Another was buried with just a corner showing. They thought it was a welfare event and got absolutely nothing in an hour. They doubt anyone found all 3, boasting that if someone did, they would wash their hair while standing on their head. Clearly, those chests were hidden in anti-human spots made worse by the heavy snowfall. Other survivors had to search by sight. His sentry ants do not. No matter how hidden, if it is in his territory, there is no issue at all. Without them, he would have found one chest at most and missed the top 100 easily, let alone first place. Meanwhile, the chat keeps rolling. Everyone insists nobody could. Found all three within a single hour, but if someone actually did manage that, they swear they will wash their hair standing on their head. Talk about some serious denial. He has no intention of advertising his results. Staying hidden in first is exactly where he wants to be. He is the nail that does not stick out, avoiding the hammer. His sentry ants secured the victory silently, allowing him to keep his lethal edge for the next round. He looks at his squad with gratitude, then sudden pain. The group that lured the boar, 10 hunting ants and 40 sentry ants, returned with only 10 hunting ants and 12 sentry ants. 28 sentry ants are dead. Of the survivors, almost all are wounded, missing antennae, dragging broken legs. Ants have no minds and only follow orders, but they are his and they earned this victory. 28 sentry ants were trampled to death by a sleeping beast. The survivors limp with broken legs and severed antennae. He was the one who chose this brutal path, yet they are the ones bleeding for it. That boar will not see another sunset. He sentences the beast silently, then turns to his new items: a bottle of water, a piece of pig iron, and knitted gloves. Putting on the gloves, warmth pools back into his hands. He drinks some water, grabs the pig iron, and heads inside with the ants. Once he warms up, he opens the gold gift package, hoping for combat power. That boar exposed his weakness. As the shelter level rises, mutated beasts get far worse, expanding his territory into dangerous zones. He desperately needs to boost his combat power. From somewhere, his ants can only carry things so far without a serious upgrade. He unwraps the golden box, a blinding flash. 3 items float the air, rotating slowly for him to choose. First is the gold-rank pursuit longbow. Arrows gain 10% auto-correction. Next is the gold-rank detection telescope. It sees through darkness beyond 500 meters. Finally, the gold-rank gene manipulator. It extracts gene fragments from biological flesh and integrates them into other organisms, granting them unique traits. Each option is completely insane. The pursuit longbow makes any novice lethal, turning a normal man. Perfect aim sounds amazing, but he has no arrows, and a melee weapon relies on strength he simply doesn't have. Skip. The detection telescope is cool, but his recon is handled by sentry ants who don't need eyes anyway. Once the territory is mapped, he can send them past 500 meters. Plus, he has no plans to wander out there himself. No way. Skip. That leaves the gene manipulator, which can extract and implant genes. He sees the potential immediately, and the possibilities branch in every direction. Mutated beast genes could create massive, much stronger hunting ants, and avian genes could turn sentry ants into flying scouts, bypassing walls and treetops that nothing on the ground can ever reach. Boar, tiger, or bear genes would give his hunters pure power. Aquatic genes could let sentry ants run water reconnaissance whenever rivers block their path. He could even graft spider venom onto sentry queens if he figures out the correct injection order. Combined with rapid ant reproduction, the upside is absolutely limitless. If 100 queens breed hunting ants and he fuses them right off the line, he can specialize his army per individual ant rather than per species. He locks in the gene manipulator, and the 3 glowing orbs vanish, replaced by a strange, microscope-like device. He grabs the bottle of mutated boar blood and figures out how to run it in just a few minutes. The interface is incredibly straightforward. Place some organic tissue on the platform to auto-separate its gene fragments depending on the quality of the donor material. This one bottle of mutated boar blood easily yields 5 gene fragments. Next, he places the recipient ant onto the platform to begin the implant. He chooses a hunting ant. 5 minutes in, its body twists violently, sending him a frantic mental signal. Energy, energy, energy. The status panel. Black Scythe hunting ant reveals a bronze-grade mutated boar gene fusion in progress, requiring a massive food intake to finish. This fusion turned it into an omnivore, meaning it can devour plants to complete the process. He has no meat ready, so he sends it outside to graze. It immediately charges a small white birch, opens its massive mandibles, and chews the whole tree down in 10 minutes flat. Then the ant mutates drastically, from fist-sized to the size of a piglet. It becomes hundreds of times larger, covered in thick bristles. No One would ever call this thing an ant now. Half-meter mandibles, absolutely terrifying, the gene. Manipulator straight up upgrades his forces. Checking the updated status panel reads, Black Scythe. Hunting ant bronze grade, fused genes, mutated wild boar, currently 0 new gene. Fusions are possible. It can fuse one more after reaching silver rank, so below bronze. Ants only get 1 fusion, but after silver they can take 2. Talk about a major power leap. Pushing his hunter queen to silver is now incredibly urgent. Suddenly, a survival manual. Notification pings. He messages Will, asking how to kill a mutated wild boar or if he's encountered. Will warns that even he avoids confronting them head-on, opting for poison arrows to wear it down. If he had chosen the pursuit longbow earlier, that would be his only path, but now he has a much better option. The gene-fused hunting ant, pound for pound. These insects are nearly invincible. Just to be safe, he fuses more. Half an hour later, 20. Gene-modified hunting ants stand right in front of him. They are way too big for the shelter, so he plans to dig them an outdoor nest later, but first, the boar. He refuses to let grudges sleep overnight when he has the power to act. Killing it avenges those 28th century ants it crushed and secures hundreds of jin of fresh meat. He will also gain gene fragments for upgrades and bulk food for his hunter queen, with her current mid-bronze scale. And the nucleus food bonus she might finally reach. One single shot guarantees a silver grade. Now she can breed silver grade hunting ants directly. His entire ceiling rises. Now, silver beasts look pretty survivable. Not just payback, tonight's hunt is his ticket, his next big gateway. He takes 20 hunting ants and heads for the boar's lair, 460 meters away. Inside a cave, the grumpy mutated wild boar gnaws on a sweet potato. Annoyed at being woken up by ants, it had chased several down and crushed them flat. Still grumpy, it spots dark figures approaching in the gloom. Mutated boars have pretty terrible eyesight, but trespassing on its meal is a grave mistake. Red eyes glaring, snorting, it charges. Standing in its way are 20 modified hunting ants. The wild boar barely gets a single squeal out before being literally torn to shreds. Only a pool of blood and flesh remains. He watches from 100 meters away. He worried about losing ants, but the target is gone in a flash. Absolute war machines. A deep sense of security wells up. Yesterday, he was fleeing a squirrel. Escaping with torn pants and jacket, today 20 modified ants fight for him. They reduce a 300-kilogram bronze beast to pulp instantly. His survival odds have completely shifted. In just 2 short days, everything changed completely. The engine of this growth is his eye of taming. Along with the species contract, mutated spring water, and now the gene manipulator. Stacked together, they completely redefine his survival floor. The 300-kilogram corpse will draw dangerous monsters tonight, so he butchers it on the spot. No dragging it back. Half meat yield still means 300 jin of food. Bronze grade boar meat. Prices have dropped as more hunters slay monsters. Still, bronze boar meat goes for 30 wood per jin, making 300 jin a massive fortune. 9,000 wood. With extra materials, 1 boar is worth 10,000 wood. 20 hunting ants act as professional butchers, finishing the job in minutes. Then he freezes. Wait, where is the rest? His smile fades instantly. He only has 30 jin of meat. He got some pig blood, a single hide, and 30-centimeter long dagger-like tusks. Plus 20 jin of various offal. Combined, this is well under 100 jin of weight. The other 500 jin is completely gone. He digs through the offal with his machete. Digging deeper, he finds a red, walnut-sized orb, a bronze-grade beast core containing condensed energy. It represents the creature's life essence, generated only by bronze-level beasts or higher. All that missing weight compressed into this core. No wonder meat prices are high. There simply is not much meat to begin with. Still, true contentment always brings him happiness. That 10,000 wood jackpot was a dream, but the materials are valuable. They are still worth at least 1,000 wood, more than enough to upgrade to level 3. The beast core itself is a bronze sustainable resource. He does not know its exact use yet, but anything condensed from life energy is valuable. Better to hold than sell, especially with his queen rising towards silver. As for the 30-centimeter boar tusks, they can easily be sharpened into deadly stabbing weapons. Or he can trade them. Meanwhile, the hide makes excellent winter gear. The offal goes straight to the hunter queen as fuel, the 30 jin of muscle meat. He keeps some for himself and uses the rest to feed the next breeding wave. Nothing is wasted. Upgrading to level 3 requires 500 wood and 100 stone. Currently, he has about 200 wood, leaving a deficit of 300 wood and 100 stone. Thankfully, chests are yielding pickaxes of various rarities, and other survivors are mining. With newly found blueprints, stone mining scales up. The wood-to-stone exchange market is active. The conversion rate has dropped to about 1 to 2. Bronze meat is worth around 30 wood per jin. So 20 jin would easily cover the upgrade, but he is also pretty short on meat himself. And unless he absolutely has to, he refuses to sell. With plenty of daytime left, he decides to explore. The territory ring first and settle any deficit at night with a meat sale if necessary. He has the hunting ants carry the boar harvest back, including the offal packed in a bucket. The hunter queen will eat any flesh, which saves a lot of resources. An hour later, working alongside the sentry ants, he sweeps the entire 500-meter ring, giving them clear orders to find mutated beasts and unusual plants. They soon spot 4 black iron mutated rabbits and the combat squad. Dispatches them quickly, securing 25 jin of black iron rabbit meat and 2 jin of rabbit blood and 4 hides. Black iron beasts do not produce cores, so the meat yield is much higher, with 4 rabbits roughly equaling a wild boar. The sentry ants also locate several mature sweet potato sprouts near the wild boar's old lair. Bringing in about 20 jin total, everything is carried back. He then has the sentry ants thoroughly sweep the squirrel area, clearing 7 different burrows for 15 jin of nuts and seeds. In total, he also picks the remaining 8 red heart fruits and breaks off a branch from the mother tree for Chunha, direct messaging her about the harvest. She replies. Instantly, she needs them, desperately. By the way, she asks if his shelter has upgraded to level 3 yet. He is still short. She does not reply. With words, instead, she sends a trade, 300 wood. He stares at the screen in disbelief, sending 300 wood. Talk about a major flex. She must already be at level 3 with a massive surplus. Soon, she sends over a careful warning. At level 3, his territory will expand to a 2,000-meter radius, and silver mutated beasts might start appearing in the newly unlocked areas. They are very independent, highly mobile, and possess power far above bronze mutated beasts. She heavily emphasizes that they do not stay in one place, as that is the detail that truly matters. Bronze beasts kept to territories he could map and avoid. Silver beasts roam. Think about it, tomorrow's safe path could become tonight's death zone. A 2,000-meter radius is massive, and going from 500 meters to 2,000 means a jump from 78 hectares of land to over 1,250 hectares, expanding his reach by more than 15 times. Sentry ant patrols at this scale will require either way more ants or much smarter pathing. Suddenly, the sentry ant queen's production upgrade looks absolutely indispensable. Roaming silver beasts are dangerous for the same reason that bronze boar was a nightmare before. They wander constantly, turning his outer territory edges into moving targets. His modified hunting ants are bronze with 1 fused gene. He does not yet know if they can even fight silver beasts. This crucial warning directly affects his safety, but he has countermeasures. Sentry ant border patrols will give early warning at the boundary, and a chain of sentry ants along the perimeter can scout and flee the moment they catch wind of a silver mutated beast. Upgrading the hunter queen to silver will soon let her breed silver hunting ants directly. This bypasses the massive resource drain of upgrading them one by one. Combining an early warning system with a reactive silver army means he can easily defend his base before hunting his first silver mutated beast. He thanks her, closes the manual, and orders the hunting ants to. He finally has them chopping trees. He wanted this earlier, but they were too small and inefficient. After the boar gene fusion, the problem is gone. How many trees fell today? Time is short. He heads inside to dump boar offal and rabbit meat into the hunter queen's nest to keep her rate. Climbing fences must be crafted. The new nucleus rate is a 30% food consumption boost, stacked with organ-grade meat, climbing visibly. Inside the panel, every 10 minutes, it rises, creeping up another 2 or 3 points. A nucleus, organ feed, and a queen with a silver tier potential ceiling means everything is compounding. Meanwhile, in a quiet corner of this dark world, beneath a giant tree wide enough that more than a dozen people must encircle it, 1,000-square-meter field stretches. Around its base, half is golden, mature winter wheat, left unharvested, a crazy waste that would make other survivors spit blood. The other half features strange-shaped plants, with some being barely recognizable, others being completely new species. A graceful figure bends over the soil, sowing seeds with muddy, unbothered hands. This is Xianghe, who straightens up. After the seed bag empties and wipes her forehead with the back of her hand, she murmurs softly, "Phew, finally planted." She hopes her luck is better and more plants. Mutate so little green can collect fragments and grow. Stronger, the giant tree's leaves rustle without any wind, answering her. She continues, "Do not worry, little green. She will work hard to collect different plants to help reforge the ancient glory of the Casimir world tree." She stumbles on that long name and the leaves rustle louder until she gets it right, then grow quieter and satisfied, a world tree indeed, acting like a childish ghost. She glances at her wheat field. With this much ripe wheat, harvesting it alone would burn an entire daytime. If only little green could help her, but little green expends serious energy during active labor and must conserve it to guard against the silver-black bear to the northwest. She returns to her shelter on a tree branch. Up to 30 meters above the ground, from a bronze chest, she pulls a golden scroll. It is a gold-rank mutual aid contract. Select a target to establish a contract. Neither party can harm each other. With permission, they can teleport to the other shelter 5 times only. An ally, she decides to think it over. Tonight before deciding, daytime is precious, so she tucks the golden scroll away and starts compounding a ripening agent at her work table. Her workbench sits beside a large window of polished wood where bottles of mutated plant extracts are arranged by hue and viscosity. Orange concentrates sit in the front for accelerators, pale green in the back for stabilizers, and some amber drops kept apart for rare cross mutations she does not quite trust yet. Each bottle is labeled with a script she invented, a pure inheritance from a botanist grandmother, as she likes to say. While she works, the giant tree's leaves rustle softly above the field like a long exhalation. Little green is content, and so is she. The wheat will keep. The contract waits in the chest. By the time he surfaces from his focused crafting trance, fences pile up to his chest in the cramped shelter has run out of floor space. He emerges with stiff arms and gulps from a water bottle. Outside, it has gone dark much earlier than he. The manual shows 3 hours have passed, and he is amazed he worked straight through. 2 days ago, he could not last 2 hours. The red heart fruit is paying off. It has dramatically thickened his muscle fibers. Meanwhile, wood production is scaling up across the region, making survivor demand for safety fences rise along with the prices. Rather than dropping, he lists the new fences at 6 wood apiece on the trade channel, then heads out to the birch grove to check on the hunting ants, but the birch grove is completely gone, reduced to low stumps. The entire forest has been logged in just 3 hours. He stares at the ground, filled with disbelief and satisfaction. The hunting ants are at the far edge in an open clearing, still working. They fell the trees and trim branches with their sharp scythes, then stack them neatly. Hundreds of clean logs are piled with absolute craftsman precision. He only ordered them to chop, but they took the initiative to trim and stack everything. Their stamina is practically limitless. Now he counts the haul, 2,029 wood units in 3 hours. This is enough to upgrade his shelters. He no longer needs to sell meat. But this harvest is not repeatable. His territory has only one dense forest, and his hunting ants just leveled it completely. The remaining trees are scattered. In total, only about 1,000 wood units across vast distances, so hauling is highly inconvenient. If only he could rent these ants out for fast cash. But first, a realistic question. Even with full ant deployment, hauling over 2,000 wood back will take 2 to 3 hours, and he has less than an hour of daylight left. The timber cannot reach his shelter. But wait, this is his territory. He is the only survivor here. So the wood is not going anywhere overnight. Better yet, he can upgrade instantly. Right on the spot, he opens the trade channel for bulk stone, browsing until he finds Getchen, who listed 300 units to sell this early. The man must be highly capable, but the price is way too steep. 2.5 wood per stone when the market is lower. He messages him, asking for a discount because of his large order. Meanwhile, in another shelter, a disheveled, bearded young man crafting a stone axe perks up at the alert. Finally, a big customer. He drops his tool, opens the interface, and acts calm. Getchen messages back, asking how large, since someone today bought 10 stones and called that a big purchase. Our protagonist replies that he will take all 300 units. Hearing this, the seller nearly cries with excitement. He desperately needs wood. His shelter is in stone country with almost no trees. His starting stone axe broke early, and he only survived because of a lucky silver mining pick from a chest, but after mining way too much stone, the price dropped and his high listing has been sitting with no buyers. For almost a full day, he had 0 messages. Now he warns himself not to panic facing a big fish. He replies that this price is his absolute lowest, claiming stone is incredibly hard to collect, and he is the only supplier. What a sly dog trying to inflate his price. Honestly, you have to respect the hustle. He just counters with 2.1 wood per stone, threatening to walk away. The night is long, the seller insists, claiming every stone took blood and sweat. But are those stones going to turn into legendary warriors? He remains completely unmoved. In the end, he has to take the deal. He desperately needs wood and cannot risk a bluff. Fine, brother, have it your way. If he were not in a hurry, he would never sell. A friend request arrives and they trade 300 stones for 630 wood. He accepts, out of 2,029 wood, plus 300 stones for level 3. Upgrade with extra for facilities. Easy. He opens the system manual. Do you wish to spend 500 wood and 100 stone to upgrade? He selects yes. Shelter is now upgrading. The wood and stone instantly vanish from his inventory as the system panel registers the cost. A small loading indicator spins in his mind. The upgrade has begun. He watches his level 2 shelter from 100 meters away. Embraces for the construction. The world chat channel is quiet. At this hour, most survivors are already hunkered down for their nightly bonfire crouch, preparing for the 17-hour dark. The freezing air bites his face. Despite his warm cotton suit and winter gloves, he pulls his collar tight and walks closer to the construction zone, watching to make sure no mutated beast slips through the defense gap during the build. 5 minutes later, the shelter finally finishes its upgrade into an exquisite level 3 wooden house. The waiting felt like an eternity because his eyes never left the pitch-black edge. Would you be nervous out there? Line, half expecting some terrifying silver mutated beast to suddenly creep in and catch him completely exposed without any defense or cover. He is still standing near the old grove site. Now that the trees are cleared, his view of the house is perfectly clear. And he witnesses the transformation process for the very first time. A dark sphere envelops the original 20 square meter house. When the black mist finally clears, an 80 square meter exquisite wooden house with a solid stone foundation stands in its place. This is a massive step up from that miserable level 2 box. Talk about luxury. Safety, space, and looks are completely transformed. Spawning a home instantly is pure black tech. And he has stopped questioning how this world works. Brand new blueprints unlock. Level 1 farmland, costing 200 wood for 100 square meters of protected farmland. Next is a level 1 animal pen, costing 200 wood and 50 stone for 100 square meters of protected breeding ground. Finally, a level 1 workbench requires 100 wood and 50 stone. This workbench boosts crafting speed while saving stamina. That farmland is an absolute steal. He previously paid 56 wood for a tiny 12 square meter nursery, making this giant plot an incredibly cheap upgrade. Meanwhile, the animal pen is far more valuable than expected. His colony of mutant ants is growing rapidly, and letting them tunnel directly beneath the house is a massive structural risk. As for the workbench, it functions like a hard-driving tool for production, boosting both speed and energy efficiency. He decides to build all 3 structures immediately. This costs 500 wood and 100 stone, matching a Tier 3 upgrade in total materials. Farmland and pens go outside, workbench stays inside. Right next to the kitchen stove, the farmland boundary stands tall and secure, while the smaller pen sits quietly beside it. He commands his helper ants to carry wood inside. For the night before heading in himself, the previous 20 square meter cabin had been painfully cramped with a bed, stove, cabinets, 3 chests, and a nursery, all fighting for precious floor space. But this new 80 square meter layout with no dividers feels incredibly open. Even the insulation is drastically improved. Closing the heavy wooden door, the freezing chill drops sharply around him, even before he lights a fire. But thanks to his level 3 shelter upgrade, true comfort finally settles in. He feels safe for the first time since arriving, knowing this burning stove will stop the freeze. The winter storm threatens survival on 2 main fronts: extreme cold and food shortage. Zheng Haiyan is prepared. Now he lights the stove and considers dinner. Checking his inventory, he has 20 jin of multi-ear wheat, 9 red fruits, and sweet potatoes. There is also 30 jin of boar meat and 25 of rabbit. His hard startup phase is officially over, meaning tonight is the perfect time for a barbecue. He survived on dry bread for days, feeding his meat to hunting ants. But he knows exactly when to hoard and when to feast, and he is certainly no miser. Wiping his black iron longsword clean, he chops the fresh meat into thick cubes. He splits some wood with his axe to make skewers, roasting the pieces over the open flame. The thick cubes of meat cook slowly, but he patiently flips them over the hot stove. A rich aroma rises quickly, making him salivate, but barbecue absolutely requires seasoning. Without cumin, chili powder, and pepper, this feast has no soul. Finding nothing on the trade market, he posts a request on global chat. He offers high prices. Instantly, the global chat goes totally wild. Everyone is shocked. Why is boss Jang Hyun looking for barbecue seasonings? Other players complain they are barely surviving on hard bread, while he enjoys a luxury feast. Many beg him for just a single bite of meat, promising to do absolutely anything he asks. Others mock the beggars, telling them to look at their own avatars first. His private inbox is immediately flooded with endless messages from desperate freeloaders seeking free food. Jang Hyun quickly disables messages from strangers, rubbing his temples in deep regret. He only gets 3 world broadcasts a day, and he just wasted one on cumin. His development was ahead of schedule, but a single slip-up ruined his quiet evening. Talking about meat completely shattered his privacy, a valuable survival lesson learned. He must never show off his luxury again. From now on, all business goes through private messages. Suddenly, his friend list pings. It is Chunga, one of his very first connections in this cold world. She asks if he still has any mutated spring water left to trade tonight. Jang Hyun smiles. As a plant expert, she might actually have some spices. He tells her they can trade water, but asks if she has cumin. Chunga is completely confused, wondering why he would suddenly ask for cooking spices. Before she can reply, he sends a trade offer loaded with hot, sizzling meat skewers. Her eyes widen at the sight of the golden, juicy roasted pork. She may follow the path of plants, but she is definitely no vegetarian. Staring at the delicious food after days of starvation, she almost sheds tears. She has more than enough wealth to buy raw meat, but there is a catch. Her cooking is so incredibly terrible that everything she makes is totally inedible. She has been surviving purely on dry bread and plain porridge, craving real food. Jang Hyun offers a swap, and she accepts without a single second thought. He trades 4 meat skewers in exchange for her cumin and chili powder. She even adds a special green pepper spice she cultivated herself from plants. Apparently, it tastes like mild mustard. By now, she has completely forgotten her original trade. She happily seasons her hot skewers and digs in, completely lost in bliss. She drools, almost swallowing her tongue, while he finishes the rest of the skewers with a nod. Satisfied, his cooking skills haven't dropped since he started living alone after. His grandfather passed. Tonight he outdid himself, not with skill but ingredient. Quality, bronze and black iron meats, and Chunga's mutated plant seasonings produce a flavor far beyond any barbecue he's ever made, better still after. Eating, he feels warmth spread through his body, and even his physique seems faintly improved. Ranked meats aren't just delicious, they are actual physique buffs, and over time, the cumulative effect should be massive, just like the red heart. Fruit, he's no hedonist, but if pleasure also makes him stronger, he won't hesitate. He commits to chasing ranked grains and meats in the future. The red heart fruit already proved that physical stats can be improved through eating if the material is rare enough. Ranked meats clearly do the same incrementally, stacking red heart fruit with ranked food daily, and the cumulative buff over weeks could meaningfully raise his baseline. The basic level of survival is no longer just one fence and a fire, it's about what he eats and what his ants eat, both feeding the same. Combat ceiling. After the barbecue, he walks to the ant nest by the spring. The animal pen is built, but since it's night, he hasn't moved the nest yet, so the original is still in place. He summons the hunter queen. Her panel reads current mutation success rate at 87%. Flesh and blood materials raise the rate. Highly likely reproductive evolution, 13% away from silver, since the bronze evolution, she only climbed 11% on the meat he fed her, plus the 20-some jin of boar and rabbit organs from the cleanup, those waste organs alone added 76%. He should have bought organs from the start, would have saved a fortune. Trade channels still have nobody selling them, since organs are foul and most hunters Discard them, he takes out 4 jin of boar meat and feeds her. She trembles. Excitedly devouring all 4 jin in 2 minutes, her rate spikes to 100. Drink. The spring water, she happily walks to the source, remembering what comes. After, she drinks 5 milliliters before stopping, more than the small tasting because her body is bigger now. He didn't gene fuse her, so she's only 7 or 8 centimeters, not the half meter of the boar-fused workers. The water takes effect and her body swells rapidly. In 5 minutes, she's 10 times bigger, 70 or 80 centimeters long, her originally all-black abdomen now carries layered silver ring patterns, mysterious and almost ornamental. Her side mandibles are nearly gone. She is a reproductive ant, and every evolution strengthens reproduction at the cost of offense. Ordinary hunting ants at silver rank get sharper, bigger mandibles. Queens shed them. She's in extreme energy depletion post-evolution, so he gives her boar meat to refill. She inhales it. Her panel shows black scythe hunter ant queen. Silver rank, potential silver rank, already at limit, breakable only with special items or skills. Type reproductive. Abilities rapid reproduction. Production expansion and rapid development. Fused genes none. She can currently fuse genes 2 times. Rapid development is a new ability to inject energy into newly hatched larvae, rapidly developing them to a mature state at double the normal energy cost. It is not for daily use, but a lifesaver in a pinch, instantly spawning thousands of hunting ants for a massive counterattack if anything threatens him. With 2 gene fusions on the queen now, he hasn't rushed them because, since he only has 1 queen, he has to be incredibly careful with his choices. Fusing genes from higher potential creatures might raise her growth limit. If she fuses with a gold tier gene, will she actually reach gold potential? But the trade market doesn't even list silver flesh, let alone gold. So it remains purely theoretical. While he's lost in thought, the queen finishes eating. She turns toward him with a strange rustling sound, carrying a rhythm. The species contract decodes it directly in his head. Master, the meat is delicious. He replies on autopilot to eat more since there is plenty, then freezes. He is completely alone in the shelter, so where did that voice come from? Looking around, there are no invaders, just the queen staring up at him. Her large black eyes lock onto him. It is quiet. That voice was not human. Just a strange, rustling sound, yet he understood the meaning perfectly. Then it hits him. The only beast language he can understand is this. His contract allows him to communicate. The queen rubs her antennae again. Russell, master, it is confirmed. Until now, the pre-silver ants only sent basic signals. He had to decode their raw feelings, but now she sends clear emotions. Before this, his ants were like mindless robots. They only took strict orders and never sent actual thoughts. In this brutal dark world, absolutely anything is possible. But the simplest explanation is her recent silver evolution. It must have pushed her right past the intelligence threshold. Silver is a massive leap forward, not just a stat boost. If silver beasts roam level 3 zones with this kind of mind, the pressure is real. Any comfort from his recent upgrade quickly vanishes. He sighs wryly. This dark world really does not allow rest. Still, a silver hunter queen is an incredible asset for him. Fusing her offspring with stronger beasts will help him survive. But his resource issue returns. He thought he was set, but clearly not. Shaking the anxiety away, he tells her she needs a name. She tilts her head. Name? Yes, a name. He rubs his chin, ruling out boring names like Zio Hai. After 2 minutes of thinking, his eyes suddenly light up. Ink-colored blade, Silent Moon Slayer, the vibe of a legendary assassin. He decides her proud new name will be Mo-Wo, the Ink Moon. She rustles happily. Thank you, master. He wonders if she truly understands. Either way, she straightens her upper body and proudly waves her sides. He smiles and orders her to breed more silver hunting ants. Strong enemies are nearby, and he needs her incredible strength. She obeys. She cannot breed alone, so he uses 10 jin of bronze boar meat on her 8 harem ants. They all upgrade to silver, but surprisingly, they do not gain intelligence. It seems smart minds are strictly reserved for the queens. That makes sense. He leaves Mo-Wo in peace to begin breeding. Her feeding and breeding routine is entirely up to her and her harem now. The new nest entrance is now a whole meter wide to fit her massive size. This means the inner tunnel space has easily more than doubled in size. The hunting ants have stacked the dirt into an impressive protective ring. Doubles as bedding for the new larvae. Jang Hyan stands at the entrance for a few moments. listening to the soft clicks of working mandibles and the thin whine of feeding, and the sheer scale of the nest hits him. Just a few days ago, this was 63 rice grain ants, chewing on his baguette, and now, a silver tier breeding chamber. Specialization really works. The Eye of Taming, Fountain of Mutation, Species Contract. Ant Nest Nucleus, Gene Manipulator, the Hunting Ant Queen and the Century Ant Queen, all sharing a single nest with the nucleus inside, and now, the Silver Hunter Queen, boasting double gene fusion potential, stacks into one massive thesis: ants as scalable. Infrastructure, the dream of a dragon knight is dead, gone, the reality of an ant knight is taking shape, and it is already absurd. He looks at the quick hemostatic bandage blueprint. The crafting cost involves adhesive, coagulation serum, plant fiber. None of these read like raw materials. They sound like fully processed products. A bronze-grade blueprint with a craft chain this complex is highly unusual. The night now runs 17 hours, plenty of time to sort it out. Trade channel. First, adhesive owner Yo Hazel, 5 wood or 3 stone. Few sellers are active. He messages her asking how much adhesive she has. Half an hour later, she replies. Instantly, she only has 10 right now, but if he needs more, she can make more. So adhesive has its own blueprint behind it, and she is on the production side. Plant fiber and coagulation serum almost certainly work the exact same way. He has just stumbled into a small craft economy he had not realized existed, so adhesive is also blueprint crafted, not raw. Same for coagulation serum. In plant fiber, he takes 10 for now, contacting her if he needs more. She is happy. Since adhesive does not sell very quickly, trade complete, 50 wood for 10 units. Today's tally, 348 wood from fences plus the hunting ant haul, minus stone. Purchase for upgrading facilities, leaves 399 wood, with his prior stash total 800 wood and 200 stone. Wealthy, extremely wealthy, coagulation serum. Next, far fewer sellers. One listing catches his eye, owner Will, 100 wood per unit. Price is negotiable via private message. Other listings are 20 to 30. Wood exorbitant, but Will is honest, and that negotiable note is a clear beacon. He is fishing for serious customers. Will sells fresh meat from day 2. He hunts heavily, blood everywhere. Coagulation serum is likely a blood derivative. Zhang Haiyan messages him. Will, your coagulation serum is too high, market is 1/5. 10 seconds later, Will replies. Zhang Haiyan, why are you searching for coagulation serum? Do you even know its use? Talk about a high-stakes test. But Zhang Haiyan has nothing to hide. He has a quick hemostatic bandage blueprint, and coagulation serum is a raw material. He sends the blueprint info right over to his level 3 shelter. Elsewhere, Will sits on a wooden bed, manual in hand, his bearded face still smells faintly of beast blood from a recent processing session. The instant he reads the blueprint info, he stands up, his bearded face a mix of surprise and joy. Zhang Haiyan, do you actually have this bandage? I can give you coagulation serum and mutated wild boar meat for free. Is Will hurt? Zhang Haiyan almost asks. Before stopping, obvious answer. The man fights vicious beasts daily. Injuries are routine. Zhang Haiyan replies, I just bought adhesive. I only need coagulation serum and plant fiber to synthesize. Will instantly responds, I have 15 portions of coagulation serum for free. Just give me one bandage after you make it. 15 portions. He realizes 30 wood per portion adds up to 450 wood, far exceeding a bandage's worth. Will desperately needs this. Taking the high-profit deal is tempting, but a reliable ally is far more valuable than raw materials. In this brutal, dark world, a warrior like Will keeps him alive. So he messages Zhang Haiyan, offering to buy the valuable coagulation serum at the standard market price. In return, he promises that the very first bandage off his workbench goes to Zhang Haiyan instead. All he wants is a steady supply of serum. On the other side of the screen, a warm feeling spreads. Zhang Haiyan is proving to be a genuine ally, even though he offered the serum free. He respects the decision, quietly planning to send extra resources later on. The trade completes, 330 wood for 15 vials of pale yellow serum. Each vial is cork-sealed. He lines them up on his workbench beside 10 adhesive units. The workspace is finally starting to look like a tiny, professional medical supply laboratory. The final ingredient is plant fiber. The trade search yields over 20 pages. Prices hover around 10 wood each. Will is bleeding out, and a promise is a promise. He refuses to let his ally suffer or delay delivering on his word any longer. He quickly buys a portion for 10 wood and sits down at the new workbench. The desk is incredibly spacious, built with a smooth, comfortable layout for crafting. Bandage crafting time drops from 10 minutes to 9.5. Saving 30 seconds might not seem like a lot, but for bulk orders, it adds up. Making 100 items saves 50 minutes. At 1,000, he saves over 8 hours. On top of that, the reduced physical strain makes long crafting sessions way more productive. This station is not just furniture, it is a massive force multiplier for his production. With the bandage complete, he immediately sends a trade request to Will. Will, who is anxiously waiting, accepts the invite the second it pops up. He puts up the bandage, while Will offers 200 wood and 10 bronze boar meat. The cost was 40 wood, but Will is offering a haul worth 500 wood. Will messages back part of this is the cost, but the rest is pure gratitude. This bandage is far too valuable to sell for standard market rates. He accepts the lopsided deal, but those warning words stick deeply in his mind. Medical supplies. He has not seen a single healing item listed anywhere on the global market. Bandage is officially bronze tier, but the crafting process is brutally difficult. Perhaps the dark system is deliberately choking the supply of medicine. Think about it, why would a system do that? He shakes the heavy thought away. It is a problem way too big for him to solve right now anyway. Still, he files the dark hypothesis away. If true, the implications are chilling. The system wants survivors dying at a predictable rate from basic, unhealed injuries. His healing bandage is one of the rare items that breaks that deadly pattern. Stopping severe blood loss fundamentally changes the mortality rate of everyone. Every hunt becomes safer. Every wild beast encounter turns more profitable. Any survivor armed with these bandages becomes incredibly hard to kill off. Even a tiny medical pipeline directly messes with the system's forced death rate. In response, the world limits the raw materials rather than banning the item. This makes his medical crafting possible, just incredibly slow and highly sensitive. Especially if other desperate survivors find out what he is brewing. That explains the forced scarcity. It perfectly explains Will's urgent warning. A simple bronze bandage is worth infinitely more than its official tier suggests. This suggests deliberate scarcities. He cannot help but wonder what else the system is. Enforcing clean water, antibiotics, antitoxins, prosthetics, and large-scale heat sources. Each unanswered category is a massive market gap, a future supply pipeline. He could dominate. With Chun-Hee's plant work, an alliance might be the engine that scales medical production instead of just basic bandages, disinfectants from mutated alcohols, antitoxins from venomous plants, and anti-inflammatory pastes from leaf compounds. The dark world may want to keep medical supplies scarce, so partnerships breaking that scarcity become far more valuable. He files this thought as a high priority for after the cold wave. Since he wants to start making a batch, he opens the trade channel again. Only to stop. How could he forget that Chun-Hee is a plant specialist? It is not rare, and trading with a friend is better for maintaining long-term stability. He direct messages Chun-Hee, asking if she has any plant fiber. She takes 5 minutes to reply, long enough for him to get distracted and think about buying from a stranger. When she finally replies, she asks what he needs and if he is making something delicious, plant fiber and food. He does not understand the connection. He cannot understand the leap. Meanwhile, Chun-Hee's face turns completely red. She clutches her manual tighter, wondering if she just said that, and if Jang-hee thinks she is just a foodie. She quickly covers up, saying he asked for seasonings earlier, so she assumed food. Again, her explanation makes it worse, but he lets it go since she clearly cares. About her image, she notes she has plenty, a simple byproduct of stock. Plants, currently 39 portions, and since she does not need them, she offers them all. He wonders why everyone is so generous, since those 39 portions are worth 390 wood. Refusing to take her items for free, he trades 50 milliliters of mutated spring water for the lot, explaining that he is making bandages and she will get priority supply if needed. Just as he is closing the manual, another message arrives from her. She tells Jang-hee she was so focused on the meat, she forgot the important matter. Apparently, her original question about the mutated spring water was just the lead-in, but since he already gave her 50 milliliters, that should be enough. She continues. She explains that after a few days of interacting, she feels he is someone worth befriending, praising his strength, solid character, and excellent cooking. Is that the main point? Sensing something strange, he prompts her to spit it out. Asking about the important matter, rather than just praising him, she jokingly shoots him down. Revealing she wants to form an official alliance, he replies jokingly, asking if they weren't already allies. She counters that their agreement was merely a verbal, gentleman's agreement and suggests they should establish a much deeper level of mutual cooperation. The dangers of this dark world are far greater than either of them. Maginese and one person's strength is limited. To survive, they must prepare for a rainy day. Her careful, gentle phrasing lets him take the lead, while making it clear their connection will be a real, substantive partnership, rather than just a casual agreement. When he asks how, she sends the details. A gold-rank mutual aid contract, once established with a target, both parties are forbidden from harming each other and can teleport to each other's shelter 5 times, a gold-rank contract. No wonder he sits straight up. Suddenly, the soft mattress feels firm, and all his fatigue completely vanishes. Irrelevant now, yes, this is the kind of item where he says yes before the negotiations even begin. The only real question is if she is the right partner. This contract is broken. It offers two-way teleportation, mutual non-harm binding, and 5 uses. Humans are social creatures who crave alliance. This dark, dangerous world, isolation kills. It eats at his sanity. Bridging isolated islands, getting it is incredibly tough. The only way he can imagine she got this is the gold gift package from that temporary mission, meaning she is probably ranked first regionally too. Her deeper cooperation offer was no bluff. This valuable item demands his absolute sincerity. As well, he replies, since you have the item out, you want to sign. I am deeply interested in a partnership. On her end, a quiet exhale. She chose him carefully. Out of everyone, she chose him, hoping he would accept. He adds, your contract is incredibly valuable. Alliances must be mutual, but to avoid any misunderstandings, let us clarify things first. You probably do not have a clear understanding of his abilities, and he only knows yours are plant-based. Let us introduce our powers first, and then we will decide on the contract. She smiles at his bluntness and agrees, suggesting they send their details simultaneously instead of having one go first. Done, they type together. His main ability is controlling and breeding ants. His strengths are scouting too. Map out surrounding territory and combat power to defeat silver beasts. They chop, harvest, and can even perform gene modification too. Extract and graft biological traits. As for her, she controls and grows plants. Her strengths are massive food production, including mutated crops. With buffs for scouting, she communicates with plants for territory intel and defends her shelter against silver creature invasions. She also has secret information about this dark world. Reading her stats, he freezes, stunned. Food is the ultimate bottleneck in this world. Seriously, her output is just insane. The math is simple. Those 200 winter wheat seeds he got from her yielded 40 gin in his tier 3 nursery in just a single day, using 1 bottle of growth agent per 100 seeds. If her tier 3 plot is 100 square meters at full capacity, with multiple tiers and extra farmable land around her shelter, her daily crop yield is easily in the low thousands of gin, maybe more. Honestly, other survivors starve. Meanwhile, she is sitting on a green paradise. He does not eat much, but his ants do. The more food they get, the bigger his army grows. Ants are omnivorous, so even those needing meat to evolve can survive on grain once silver workers reach their limit and meat demand drops. Her food alone is more than enough to anchor this entire alliance. Her scouting ability also explains how she always finds chests and resources so fast. Plants are everywhere, and her communication skills might actually outperform his scout ants. Her defenses against silver beasts prove her combat strength is very real, even if she fights through different means than him. Armed with a contracted world tree, she literally owns a mobile fortress made of crushing roots and massive branches, something he could never fully grasp from her vague trading texts alone. This incredible defensive line probably does not just mean she can survive a silver siege. No, it means her tree is a literal titan. Her tree can actually drive off intruders, a far more aggressive defense than what normal survivors manage usually achieve. Her information is the most valuable, a potential dark world secret. Tier potentially, the system only dropped 6 precautions and a few broadcast lines, and left everyone to figure out the rest from each other's brutal experiences. If she has deeper context, disaster forecasts, or info on rare items, their taxonomies, territory ring structures, or who the top survivors are, Tier survivors are, that information will bridge some major blind spots that have been costing him time. Once they sign, he will see what he can learn, on her side. She is equally shocked. To her, Jang Hyan's strength seems unreal. She developed quickly thanks to a first-day contract with Little Green. Does Jang Hyan have something similar in battles against silver mutated beasts? Even Little Green struggles with just one, yet he controls ants and those ants defeat silver creatures. What kind of ants are these? Ants are usually synonymous with weakness. She cannot picture tiny rice grain ants matching ferocious silver mutated beasts, but Jang Hyan is not one to boast, so she accepts it and reserves judgment. Then the labor and gene modification entries catch her eye. She lights up. Physical labor saves her muscles, while gene modification could guide her plant mutations. She knew about his Fountain of Mutation, but had no idea about gene modification. Either alone makes the contract worthwhile. She messages that his abilities are incredibly strong and urges him to sign quickly. Right after sending it, she rubs her head. She was a little too eager, which is not great for negotiation. Still, Jang Hyan is a five-sided warrior. The only thing he lacks is food, which she has in abundance. A perfect compliment. She sees no need to raise the price. Her abilities are critical for him. And vice versa. He replies that it is exactly what he was thinking, urging her to sign, and looks forward to cooperation. Happy to work together, she writes her name on the scroll with a touch of her finger, then trades it back with her name already written in elegant brushwork. Up to 5 names can be on a contract, if all sign the same scroll. All 5 become allies, extending the binding across the entire group. He touches the scroll, and a black mark appears right under his fingertip. He writes Jang Hyan next to her elegant signature. His handwriting is pretty poor. He has not done calligraphy in years, and has barely written by hand in this dark world, making his crooked lines look incredibly abstract next to her elegant brushwork. The contrast is pretty severe. He worries briefly that the contract might reject the scribble as an illegible representation of his real name. But the contract clearly cares about identity rather than aesthetics. A few seconds later, a connection clicks in his mind, a strange subconscious tether he felt when he first learned Eye of Taming, only thinner and pointed at a person rather than a creature. The tether does not give him access to her thoughts or her location in any detailed way. It is more of an awareness that she exists at the other end, knowing she cannot harm him without breaking the binding. The mutual non-harm clause is strictly enforced at the system level, with no way to fake it. After his list updates, her avatar now has a teleport request option. In addition to chat and trade, the system announces that Jang Hyan has successfully established a contract, and protected by its power, neither party may ever harm the other. He trades the scroll back, and she stares at his signature. She laughs, calling it unique, and asks if she can visit. Jang Hoon freezes in surprise, knowing this goes far beyond a simple polite question. An in-person visit is a massive step that goes way beyond their initial contract.